Hello, hello. This thing on?
Sure is. It's live.
We're live, pal. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, after a 15-minute delay, what's good, y'all? It's the Chillmeister, J. Christian Gary, and JayWolf, and you're watching a very special edition, and I hate using the term special edition, but yeah. This is a very special edition of Focus Fights Audio. Focus Fights Audio presents, that is. And of course, we're here to just I would say that we are here to talk about RIZIN 47 and nothing else. But, Jay, I think, when it comes down to the folks in Japan, they have breaking news waiting for us before we even get up out of bed. But this is very, very different. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Are you talking about the BKFC news, the massive collaboration that's going on that just broke on the MMA Hour? Sakaki Barasan, the CEO of Epic Horizon, was on the MMA Hour, and with David Feldman, the CEO of BKFC, and they broke some news that they're doing a massive partnership, and it's going to be a talent sharing partnership. And they're going to send over some two massive fights for the Super RIZIN 3 card in July. And I'm just wondering if that's going to be part of remember Sakaki Barasan promised us 5 announcements during the 47th intermission. So I'm wondering if that's going to count as 1 or 2 of those intermissions announcements. So, but yeah, hey, but we didn't even do the intros. I wanted the intros and say, hello to the fans. Also, I want to give you a shout out specifically, Jay Krish.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to go check out Jay Krish's Focus Fights interview with Shingo Charlie Kashiwagi. It was I consider it one of your best interviews, one of your finest interviews to date. It was so good, such a great listen. Everybody that's listened to it in the RIZIN Discord has absolutely loved it. Some incredible information was revealed on that show with Shingo. And I thought it was it was such a great interview. I listened to the whole thing, riveted. You won't be able to take your ears off the earbuds. It was just so good. So I just want to congratulate you on that, Jay Krish, and I want everybody to go check that out. It's on Focus Fights Audio. Jay Krish's interview with Shingo Charlie Kashiwagi. It was really good, arguably this best interview to date. Let's just bring down the info that was revealed on there. They're going to keep doing Grand Prix. Thank goodness. How awesome is that? They're going to keep doing Grand Prix. And you know what? I want you to talk about the rest of it because it was your interview and it was just great. I just loved it. That's why I just want to make sure we start off with that first.
Well, damn, I don't really remember. I mean, even though it was like a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually, no, it's not a couple of weeks ago. It was a damn near a week ago, but still don't. It's not like I really remember it all. I do remember him saying, Shingo that is, saying that, RIZIN is looking to shop around to do events in states and cities where, the rules for either the rules for RIZIN might better suit them, or they would be willing to go to cities that would, have them on a show, but have them work under unified rules. And of course, those cities that I suggested to Shingo Kashiwagi are Honolulu, Hawaii, Denver, Colorado, and Atlanta, Georgia. The latter two are key here because that Down One Championship is supposed to be doing a couple of shows in the States later this year. They're going to be doing one in Denver first, and then they're going to be doing the other one in Atlanta.
Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia, the ATL. I mean, come on. They don't call it Hotlanta anymore. They call it the ATL.
Yeah, the A. we in Southern California, we call it, that's Anaheim here, from the Anaheim Angels. Or I guess now they're the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, since they got Shohei Ohtani and traded him to the Dodgers. But they had a big old A outside the Angel Stadium down the freeway in Anaheim. So that's the A out here in Southern California. But yeah, like you're saying, that's the A that's what Hotlanta is called now, is the ATL or whatever. But Yeah, and speaking of that, what you're talking about with Shingo, a great point was made by Shingo. Remember, he was talking about on your show, your interview, your fantastic interview, was talking about how the efforts that was underway to get the superior rule set legalized in America and in those states that you were talking about to further the work that One Championship has already done, getting because they got grounded knees and 12 to 6 elbows legalized in Colorado and Georgia. And Shingo was talking about, he wants to further that and get the full superior rule set of the Epic RIZIN allowed. And he was saying that, he was asking us not to call them soccer kicks anymore because the perceived negative, brutal connotation of those.
Yeah. I mean, he basically referenced it to me. Imagine taking a full-blown punch to the damn head.
Yeah.
It will really shake up your brain, your equilibrium, so to speak. So yeah,
and that's not what happens when the soccer kicks are enacted in action, like in the middle of the MMA action. It's not a full on punt like a soccer ball free kick. That's what he was saying, and he's saying that gives like a brutal connotation to the strike. And he asked us if we could start calling it grounded kicks instead. So that's what I want to start doing from now on, at least until the superior rule set gets fully legalized. Then we can go back to calling it soccer kicks, and we can say stomps or flying skull crushers or whatever, however we want to sensationalize it. But from now on, instead of calling it soccer kicks, we talk about the superior rule set. I want to call them grounded kicks and grounded knees, just like Shingo-san was asking. So when we're talking about superior rule set, that's the Epic, unique to the Epic RIZIN. They're the only ones in the world that has the full superior rule set. We're talking about grounded kicks and knees, stomps, grounded up kicks, and we call it superior rule set because they added 12 all elbows, including 12 to 6s. That's why it's upgraded Pride rules, and that's why we call it a superior rule set. But yeah, from now on, when we're talking about them, I want to call them grounded kicks, just like Shingo-san asked us. So, and that was directly from your info from your interview, Jay Krish. That was sensational. So, and like you're saying, you suggested Hawaii and all those places for an international event in the States, and he was very open to it, talking about, that's where he went into that conversation about how he's, he went over there and was actually talking to the boxing commissions and presenting the info about, the grounded strikes, like we're saying, grounded kicks and grounded knees and stuff like that. If you guys remember, they had fantastic graphics that show the percentages so far of those strikes being utilized under the superior rule set in the Epic RIZIN during that commission. And it was just such a great interview, Jay Krish. Really, really, I highly everybody go watch it. It's on Focus Fights Audio. Go watch it. Jay Krish and Shingo Charlie Kashiwagi. It was literally, I think it was one of your best interview, if not your best interview to date, brother. It was really good.
I see, and I thank you for that, because I can't really, pat myself on the back, but when it came down to that interview, it was just it was basically out of happenstance, because I was wanting to try and get an interview with some of the fighters that are going to be competing at RIZIN 47, but so far, I can't really say I had any luck. I'm still hoping to get one more interview done before this RIZIN 47 card happens this weekend. And of course, if you're watching right now, that event will take place on Sunday, which is June the 9th at 1 a.m. 10 p.m. Pacific, by the way.
On the 28th on Pacific time, 10 p.m. Pacific, the 28th, going into the 29th, early morning. And
RIZIN 47, June 9th, this weekend. Super RIZIN 3, July 28th. Still, though, that's going to be some interesting shit. But still, the point of the matter is, when it came down to talking to Shingo, I really had fun enjoying everything there was about it. And we really had some interesting conversations, especially when it came down to the possibility of them doing something like this, like the news that just been announced of them doing more BKFC style fights and more open finger glove kickboxing matches. I mean, it's the type of stuff that, only those who watched the original Pride FC or Sengoku or Dream or even promotions dating all the way back to the UWF back in the 80s, they only wish they could have had.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it was that he teased on your interview. He also teased there's going to be huge announcements at 47 for Super RIZIN 3 on July 28th, and at RIZIN 47 this Saturday night, Sunday morning on the 8th and 9th. That's what we were talking about. The BKFC announcement today is probably going to be. They're probably going to reveal what those two fights are that Feldman said were going to be sent over to Japan for Super RIZIN 3. They're probably going to reveal what those fights are during RIZIN 47's intermission. That's probably going to count as, I hope it's only one of the 5 announcements promised by Sakakibara-san, the CEO of Epic Rising, but it's probably going to count for 2. But I mean, on that interview, I mean, dude, he was. I just loved how he was talking. He totally confirmed they're gonna. I thank you so much for asking about the Grand Prix, Jay Krish. You're like, yep. I mean, that was so awesome. It was so great to hear. They're gonna keep doing Grand Prix. That's a staple of Japanese MMA, and they're not gonna go away from that. So can't wait to see that happening some more in the near future. And maybe could that possibly be one of the announcements at RIZIN 47? For later on this year, maybe they're going to announce a Grand Prix. I don't know. I mean, do you want to talk about what those announcements could be now, or do you want to go through the card first?
You know what? I think we're going to go ahead and talk a little more about this because, again, RIZIN 47 is a 9-fight card. Even though, of course, we got 2 hours plus an overrun, we got time. But still,
okay, cool.
Down to that, I also saw news from Lance Pugmire saying that, I mean, and again, Shingo and I talked about this, the possibility of RIZIN having an Inoue style crowd. I mean, an Inoue style crowd for Super RIZIN. Have you heard about the news of Manny Pacquiao getting into the RIZIN ring for the first time?
Yes, that was unofficially announced. And I believe that is one of the main, if not the main announcement that's going to be part of the 5 that they're going to announce during 47's intermission. It's going to be, they're going to make official that Manny Pacquiao is going to be on the Super RIZIN 3 card. And that would totally make sense because those Super RIZIN 3 tickets for the highest VIP level, right there ringside, they're 1.1 million yen. That's the highest they've ever been. That's $7,000 plus in USD money. So that's the highest ticket price has ever been. So that it would make sense that it'd be a Manny Pacquiao announcement. And we're probably going to find out the opponent is going to be too. And on the show today where they talked about the BKFC announcement, they also kind of teased that the opponent possibly could be Floyd Mayweather. So we don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it's going to be an announcement about Pacquiao. It's definitely going to be that's probably the main announcement of the 5.
Jay, I don't know if Mayweather would even want to, entertain that opportunity again, because people are automatically going to see that as lackluster. I mean, come to think of it, the dude skipped an opportunity this past week. No, I think about a couple of weeks ago to do press for an exhibition at a bull ring in Mexico in a rematch of his fight with Victor Ortiz. So I just don't know how, I mean, unless the money is that damn good for Mayweather to just sneak back into RIZIN's life, I just don't know if it's going to happen, especially considering that, oh, by the way, we all remember what the hell happened last year. I remember watching it as we were doing one of these damn reviews or previews about the Mayweather-John Gotti situation down in Sunrise, Florida. I mean, it was probably one of the more wilder situations in, if not combat sports history, then definitely in boxing history, dating back to Riddick Bowe versus Andrew Golota 1 back in '96. So, You know, and I don't know if Mayweather Pacquiao 2 might happen in our lifetime, but damn it, it'd be fun to figure that out and see if it actually happens. I mean, it's like Andrew said, I'm not going to believe it until they're in the ring, locking eyes with each other, right? His heads in.
Yeah, well, on the show today where they announced the BKFC partnership, he said that Mayweather wants to appear in RIZIN again. During the same question where he was answering about Pacquiao, and he said he just teased it because he said he didn't want to announce anything yet. So, and that's straight from Bara Goat, Sakaki Bara-san. I like to call him the GOAT because he's one of the GOATs promoter, if not the GOAT. So, but Sakaki Bara-san was saying that himself. So, you know, through Shingo as the interpreter, but he specifically name dropped Mayweather, name dropped Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. So that is, I mean, we're for sure going to get the Pac-Man announcement. It's going to be the Pac-Man is going to be on the Super RIZIN 3 card. That's probably going to be the main announcement of the 5. We just don't know his opponent yet. That's probably going to be what the announcement is going to be about. Is going to be officially announcing Pac-Man and his opponent. Remember New Year's Eve, they had Pac-Man there, and they said that his opponent was going to be Floyd Mayweather. So I mean, all signs are kind of pointing to Floyd Mayweather as the opponent. It was also that would justify the 1.1 million yen price tag of the highest VIP tickets sales. And speaking of those tickets are already completely sold out for the 50,000 seat arena for the Super RIZIN 3. And I think there's only one section with a couple tickets left. That's incredible.
Hey, basically what you're saying is that the Saitama Super Arena stadium version is already sold Super RIZIN 3, correct?
Yes, already sold out. There's only been like 4 or 5 fights announced. They're all like Japanese-centric names. Of course, the big one is Ren Hiramoto and Mikuru Asakura Action Brothers. And it was just rumored about Manny Pacquiao. There was like unofficial tweets about it. So not even officially announced yet, and it's already sold out. So that would make sense that, you know, the fans, and that would justify the price tag too, because this is the highest price tickets I've ever seen for a RIZIN. So it just all makes sense that's what will be happening. So and that would be, if it does happen, that'd be huge news. It's going to command ESPN attention. It's going to be massive. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to command ESPN's attention because the last thing I want to hear is Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith talking shit about RIZIN.
No, they're not going to be talking shit. They'll be talking about Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao for the second time. So I mean, that was the highest gross pay-per-view of all time. It's got to be talked about. So as long as they pronounce it RIZIN instead of saying RIZIN, I cannot stand these fighters talking about. I mean, we'll get into that when we talk about the main event. But these guys saying it's like nails on a chalkboard here in RIZIN. Gosh, it's so annoying. But I mean, dude, hey, so what do you think the other announcements are going to be? That's two or three of them. The Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao announcement, possibly against Floyd Mayweather. The BKFC announcement, possibly going to be count for 2 because they're announced 2 fights. What do you think the other ones would be?
Dude, I just don't know. I mean, we're going to basically take this ride. No, we're going to basically ride this ship until the wheels fall off, so to speak, when it comes down. But I just don't know, because the one thing about RIZIN is that anything leak out. I mean, did you see the damn preview did you see the damn video that the great Chris, I should say?
Yeah. Well, there has been kind of some not official leaks, but basically word on the streets is that, you know, they had a couple fight suggestions that might be announced. One of them, I'll just tell you what the word on the streets is that I was seeing on like Twitter or X, whatever. It was Satoshi, the lightweight champion, might be announced to be defending his lightweight title against Luis Killer Gustavo. That might be one of them. The other one that was suggested was Sika Izawa, the atomweight queen, current atomweight champion, fighting against the shoot boxing queen, or the striker queen, as I like to call her, Reina Kubota. Now we know in the RIZIN Discord, Drake Riggs of MMA Mania, that does the Broaden Horizon podcast, that just he has some insider info. He said Sika Izawa just hurt or injured her ankle. So she's going to be out. So that one is probably not going to be announced. That the word on the streets about that one being announced is probably not going to happen anymore. But there's a good chance that Satoshi De Souza versus Luis Killer Gustavo, that one could be announced.
Yeah, I mean, that fight's a delicious matchup that you think about it. But, I mean, it sucks that Izawa, got injured because, of course, she not only fights for RIZIN, she fights for Deep Jewels as well, and Deep to an extent. So I'm pretty sure that her taking up all these other fights in this other promotion, which, of course, we can't really disparage Deep. They've been around since 2001. We can't disparage Deep Jewels either. They've been around since 2011. And, I mean, still, though, I understand what they're doing, but, if it's going to cost one of their champions something, I mean, if it's going to cost one of their champions the opportunity to showcase themselves in front of one of the biggest stages there is, it's going to be, a shame to see some of these fighters walking wounded, so to speak.
Yeah, but hey, Deep is a fantastic promotion. It's like the feeder promotion to the Epic RIZIN. It's like the LFA to UFC here in the States. That's how Deep is to the Epic RIZIN. And they also do they have partial superior rule set for their fights as well. One of the only other companies that does that in Japan. So because Pancrase, they do the pussified rule set of UFC and for Pancrase and all the other ones. So Deep and Deep Jewels, as a matter of fact, that's their women's division. So that one, I mean, it's a fantastic company. And Aisha, I was talking about with Aisha on the City Life Project podcast. He said they just had a fantastic show, and that's one where Sori Oshima won and was announced to be signing with Invicta over here in the States, and she's going to be doing Invicta and Deep and possibly at Epic RIZIN as well. So it's a great thing to see. It's a great company, and he was saying that they had just had a show recently where just like it was just finishes galore. So it's a good company, a good feeder company. But you're right though. If they're, I mean, we can't be sending our champion over there. If she's going to be hurt and get off and not be able to participate on the Super RIZIN 3 card, which is the Epic RIZIN Summer Blockbuster event, right? They got two big, huge events a year. Their Summer Blockbuster event, Super RIZIN, and then their New Year's Eve Mega event. And those are the two massive events for RIZIN every single year. So, that's maybe next time schedule it to where if Sika Izawa is going to fight, have her fight way earlier in the year to where, if she gets injured or anything, she has time to come back before the Super RIZIN show. Or, maybe this could be a blessing in disguise. Maybe she'll take this time to heal up and she'll be back in time for the New Year's Eve Mega event, right? So, I mean, just because we're missing out with her on Super RIZIN doesn't mean she's not going to be able to make it to the New Year's Eve Mega event. So, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I hear you. But Deep, I think, is a fantastic promotion, great feeder organization and we've seen guys come over from Deep and women come over from Deep and have great performances in the Epic RIZIN. So I like that relationship. So I don't want to disparage Deep at all. They're a great promotion. And Deep Jewels, they're great promotions. So
Deep, like I said, has been around since 2001. Once upon a time, they were the feeder promotion of, as you mentioned, the Almighty Pride Fighting Championships. So, yeah, of course, they know what they're doing when it comes down to their rule set, albeit the fights are a bit wonky because of the round structure. But still, though, point of the matter is, they know what they're doing. And one more thing I want to ask before we get off into this RIZIN 47 card. What are your thoughts about Shinobu Ota, the 2016 Olympic silver medal wrestling standout with hands for stones? What are your thoughts about him being a part of the Bellator Champion Series event in Dublin, Ireland, coming up later this year? Or actually, no, in about a month or two.
No, it's this month, June 22nd.
Really?
Yeah, I absolutely. Yes, yeah, it's this month, June 22nd. Bellator Dublin's happening, and Shinobu Ota, the Olympic silver medalist, one of the Epic RIZIN's RIZIN stars, is part of the collaboration between the PFL Bellator and the Epic RIZIN. And as of course we're talking about with the number 2 that was under Scotty Cokes' Bellator, Mike Kogan. He has come over. He is now with the PFL, as we like to call it, PFL and Bellator combined, and he is running things at Bellator. And he has been on Japanese shows talking about he wants to continue the collaboration. He's talking about, what I really like to hear is that he wants to make the Chihiro Patricio pound for pound pitbull super fight rematch happen. Love hearing that. And he just is adamant about continuing the collaboration with the Epic RIZIN, and that's what we're seeing here. It was first with Yusuke Yachi was sent over to Bellator Paris, right? And now on this next Bellator,
way that Yusuke Yachi was not only pronounced, it's actually pronounced Yusuke Yachi.
Yusuke Yachi. I mean, but it was great to hear the announcers talking about him.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But it just sucked how he got dismantled by Mansar Barnawi, the Afro Samurai.
Yeah, but Barnawi's no slouch. I mean, we knew that was a possibility. So, and it was impressive to see Barnawi's, really improved grappling and wrestling that I'm sure Yachi was not ready for, obviously. But we knew he was a massive, submission threat. But it was great to hear the commentators talk about Yachi and the Epic RIZIN Fighting Federation. They said RIZIN correctly on Yachi's graphic. It had prominently about how it's like an 18 fight RIZIN veteran, and that was the most prominent part of his graphic, his walkout graphic with the RIZIN Federation logo just prominently displayed, and they were talking about it, big up in him. It was just so great to hear and see. And he got, but Barnawi's no slouch. So even though it was a loss, it was still a great, fantastic first collaboration where RIZIN sent a fighter over, and they have been, Mike Kogan and PFL have been sending guys over to RIZIN, continuing it, as continuing the Bellator collaboration that's been happening since the beginning of Epic RIZIN, way back in 2015, 2016 with Scotty Coke. So it's just great to see. And because they could have not, they could have been like the UFC, the Puss FC, and not done collaboration and tried to protect their brand. Because Dingleberry Dana White, he has nightmares of Almighty Pride FC scrubbing up his UFC fighters and sending them back home, tail tucked between their legs like whipped dogs. So the PFL Tour and Don Davis and them, they could take the same approach and say, oh no, we want to protect our brand. We don't want to risk it. We're trying to become the co-leader or whatever they say. So, we're not going to do collaboration anymore. But no, they didn't do that. They continued the collaboration. So I want to give them massive props for that because I absolutely love it. It's literally arguably the most fun thing happening in mixed martial arts right now is the collaboration between the Epic RIZIN Fighting Federation and PFL Bellator. So it's just, I just want to give them props. Mike Kogan and Don Davis. Don Davis is doing right by the fighters finally. It was just announced that they're doing Cyborg Pacheco. So and they released Gegard Mousasi. Hopefully he comes over to RIZIN and challenges for like the inaugural middleweight title against Igor Tanabe. That'd be cool. They re-signed Douglas Lima. Now all they gotta do left is take care of Sabah Hamasi, and then all the grievances will be taken care of. So, but it's just great to see that the collaboration is continuing. And Shinobu Ota, like you were saying, Jay Krish, he is being sent over on June 22nd to Bellator Dublin. And that is one of their best RIZIN fighters, one of their RIZIN stars, Olympic silver medalist. And he's facing a tough, it's a tough test. So, I mean, he's got to come prepared. But look, Olympic silver medalist in wrestling, he's got the wrestling game down. And it's under the unified rules, the pussified rules, I should say. So he's not going to have to worry about grounded kicks and knees and everything. So I think he's got a good chance of winning this one. But it's just great to see the collaboration continue. And I think maybe, Jay Krish, maybe that could possibly be part of what the 5 announcements are going to be during the 47's intermission. Maybe they could announce some further collaboration on Super RIZIN 3 or beyond. Maybe one of the things that word on the streets is that one of the announcements was possibly going to be that Chihiro Pitbull rematch super fight was possibly going to be made official and announced during that. So that, further collaboration was going to be announced for the September show, Bellator show in San Diego, or for the New Year's Eve mega event, collaboration mega event happening on, December 31st. So we'll see about that. But I mean, yeah, it's Shinobu Ota in June 22nd in Bellator Dublin. I can't wait. I love the collaboration. It's freaking awesome. Like I said, it's one of the best things going in mixed martial arts today.
Oh yeah, of course it is. I mean, the one gripe I have about Bellator, aside from them and the PFL by extension kicking me off of their media calls for some bullshit. I mean, I just can't stand the fighter, the uniformatization, the uniformatization of mixed martial arts. That's what I can't stand, but that's another story for another day. I just hate Bellator's uniform get up because of their apparel sponsor. They can go suck.
Yeah. Well, look. Let's talk about a couple more of the announcement possibilities, and then we'll get into this fight card. So a couple more announcement possibilities. Word on the streets is that
I do want to get on the fight card.
Well, I mean, there's a couple more that are really intriguing, and one pertains to your interview with Shingo that you did on Focus Fights, and that was, they were talking about possibly they're going to announce some more events, possibly the next international event, and where that could take place. So that could possibly be another announcement for Super 47th intermission, and then the big one that I'm sure everybody's going to be, the word on the streets is that they're going to officially announce Kai Asakura, the other Asakura action bro, that he's going to be officially signing with the UFC, and they could be announcing that during 47's intermission. So those are the two more. I mean, if you want to talk about them some more, we can. But but if you're ready to get into the fight card, let's do it. But I just can't wait to see what these 5 announcements are going to be. So it's just, it's awesome.
I think it would be real hypocritical for the UFC to sign Kai Asakura when they had no interest in re-signing Kyoji Horiguchi. That's just a crock of shit to me.
Yeah, that's a fumble by Dingleberry Dana White, that he doesn't want to pay up or pony up that's their excuse, is that they don't want to pay the money to get Horiguchi. So hey, that's just gonna give. I think it's political. To be honest with you, I think they just don't want Horiguchi to come in there. They know that he could win the UFC title right away, and they just don't want that. They don't want the political like the visual of Horiguchi coming over from the Epic Rising and immediately taking the UFC title, and they know it's a real possibility. So even the fans, all the fans want it. That would. Dude, it's a fumble by them. But you know what? The good thing is, it's going to put a chip on Horiguchi's shoulder. He's going to, for this fight right here at 47, he's going to want to come out guns blazing. He's going to want to show that, hey, that freaking the first fight was a fluke, and the UFC fumbled by not re-signing me. So,
yeah, of course. But still, though, we can talk about that all damn day. Hence the T-shirt. Which, thank you to the Reality of Wrestling for, supplying this Will All Day T-shirt, where you can get it on ProWrestlingTees.com. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to promote things. Well, I'm wrong. I'm just lying out my ass, aren't I? But as much as I want to promote professional wrestling, I love mixed martial arts slightly a bit more, but not as more. You know what? Let me just go ahead and just tell y'all. RIZIN 47 will be taking place this weekend, Saturday, June 8th, or Sunday, June 9th, depending on your time zone of choice. 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific, midnight Central Time, 6 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. All this taking place from Yoyogi National Stadium, First Arena, and it'll be exclusively on RIZIN.TV for us English language overseas geeks, or RIZINFF.live for the Japanese persuasion. Of course, we got 9 fights on the card, 8 MMA, 1 kickboxing, of course, and that's going to be one of the first fights out the gate. But we also got a double main event that, it's just worth talking about, so to speak. Especially when you think about this. The main event of this fight card, which is the fight we're going to be talking about first, is a fight that's been about 3 years in the making that ended under some overmatched circumstances for one of them. And now that they're on an even playing field in the RIZIN ring, I think this fight just might be the highlight it's meant to be, not the basic walkthrough that it was previously. Of course, I'm talking about the Karate Kid, the Supernova, the double champ, Gucci 2 belts, Kyoji Horiguchi versus the Phenom, SP, Anthony Pettis' little brother, Sergio Pettis. Of course, if you know the history between these two, you don't need me talking about you, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the particulars anyways. Pettis, the former Bellator Bantamweight World Champion, 23-6 overall, 5'6", 135, with a 69-inch reach, 30 years of age, representing Rufus Sport, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA. His opponent, Kyoji Horiguchi. Nothing else needs to be said, really, but I'll say it anyways. 32-5 overall, 33 years of age, 5'5", hulking up to around 130 pounds, 65-inch reach. Originally from Takasaki, Gunma, Japan, fighting out of American Top Team in Coconut Creek, Florida, USA. And of course, when it comes down to the fight between these two, the last time out, Sergio beat up Kyoji Horiguchi. Let me go ahead and read that over. Sergio beat up Kyoji Horiguchi to the point where Kyoji succumbed to a spinning back fist in the 4th round of their 5-round title fight back on December 3rd, 2021, which, oh, by the way, marked the first time post-pandemic that RIZIN sent over a fighter to compete in Bellator. Did you know that?
Yes. And this fight is another collaboration fight with the PFL Bellator, because Kyoji Horiguchi is currently still under contract with the PFL Bellator. So this is also the 2 main events here, with Kyoji and Kleber and Juan. They're well, I guess the 2 main eventers. I mean, because Juan is exclusive to RIZIN now, but he was a Bellator fighter before, and one of the top Bellator fighters before. But in this main event is a collaboration between, because Sergio Pettis, he still has 5 fights left on his Bellator contract. So this is a complete collaboration between RIZIN and PFL Bellator. So, and this made it, it's just this is the highest collaboration since the PFL Bellator merger and the new ownership of PFL Bellator. So this is really a huge deal. And like you were saying, Jay Krish, this is a rematch. And in the first fight, Kyoji Horiguchi was beating Sergio Pettis and dominating him, pretty much dominating him, until the 4th round when Sergio Pettis hit the beautiful spinning back fist KO that went viral, and just it was sensational. And some people were saying it's a fluke, but Sergio Pettis had footage of him training before, warming up and stuff, training that exact spinning back fist. So we can't really say it's a fluke, but that is what Kyoji Horiguchi, Gucci 2 belts, is going to be coming into the ring trying to prove that, hey, you know what? Yes, it was a fluke. I was beating your ass for the 4 rounds before you hit that. So I should have been the rightful. You should not have hit that. And I'm going to be I'm going to come out the rightful win. And this fight, by the way, is that, like you said, Jay Chris, is at bantamweight, but it was originally offered to Sergio Pettis as a flyweight title fight. So depending on the outcome, actually, you know what? Regardless of the outcome, whoever wins, I bet you we see a trilogy bout. I bet you we see a trilogy bout for the flyweight title, because Sergio Pettis said that it just wasn't enough time for him to make the flyweight weight class. So that's why they made it at bantamweight. Plus, in their first meeting, it was at bantamweight. So it's kind of I like that it's at bantamweight to a rematch, like an official rematch at the weight class and everything of their first fight. So but regardless of the outcome, whoever wins, I bet you we'll see a trilogy bout down the road, and probably for the flyweight title.
Yeah, but here's the thing, I don't doubt the fact for 1 minute that they are gonna make this a trilogy fight, because let's face it, this fight should definitely be, this fight should definitely be a rivalry between these two. I mean, obviously, Kyoji is going to get this. I mean, I'm not going to say that Kyoji might get this win, as I'm basically looking through the damn topology notes here. But still, though, I'm just basically saying that this does have the opportunity to end in a trilogy fight, perhaps with Pettis winning the RIZIN flyweight belt. Oh, no, wait, actually, not winning the RIZIN flyweight belt, fighting for the RIZIN flyweight belt against Horiguchi. Maybe this time next year, or next New Year's Eve. Who knows? Point of the matter, as the Tapology faithful are in agreement, saying that 79% are going to see a Horiguchi decision win, or a Horiguchi win in general. And I can only hope that this fight ends up being a trilogy, because let's face it, this fight, the first fight was epic except for the result. This second fight has the opportunity to be epic all around. And the third fight, who knows? If it does reach to that point, and, Pettis doesn't, if Pettis doesn't bring his A game, who knows? We might see a third fight happening between the two. Now, our good friend Andrew Benjamin, a.k.a. the master of the We Are Rising podcast, is basically asking us this good question. Do you think that this fight being 3 rounds would be an advantage for Gooch or for SP?
Definitely Horiguchi, because like we were saying, he was winning the first 4 rounds of the initial fight, until Pettis hit that spinning back fist. So now, if history is proven incorrect, then Horiguchi should be able to win this bout, because he was winning the first one for 4 rounds. So why couldn't he be able to win the second one for 3 rounds, right? So I definitely think it favors Horiguchi, and it's really, honestly, I think Horiguchi is going to be. He's just going to come out with a point to prove. Because it was the news was that, because Sakakibara-san said he is not going to hold back Horiguchi from going to the UFC. He said that they were free to sign him if they wanted to. And Horiguchi was saying that it was just a money issue. That's why they weren't going to sign him. And he still is going to be fighting with PFL Bellator now, in addition to the Epic Rising. So there was no issues of him going to the UFC. Sakakibara-san was totally in favor of it. So Horiguchi's gonna have a chip on his shoulder, I believe, and just wanting to show that Dingleberry Dana White and the UFC fumbled the bag by not signing him. And like you were saying about the announcements, if they announce that Kaya Sakura is going to be signed to the UFC, it looks stupid. Why would they not also sign Kyoji? Because it's because they the politics of it. Because they don't want what happened with Jiri Prochazka to happen with Kyoji Horiguchi. Because Jiri Prochazka, of course, came over from the Epic Rising, just went on a tear in UFC, and then won the UFC title. But they got lucky with Jiri because he was Eastern European, so people didn't really associate him with Japan.
Count, the former Czechoslovakian Republic as Eastern European. I think they were more like. Weren't they more Western Europe anyways?
I guess it'd be, Eastern Central, European fighter. Let's just say that. A European fighter instead of a Japanese fighter like Horiguchi. Because if Horiguchi would come over and, win a top 10 flyweight fight and then fight for the title and win the UFC title, people would associate Horiguchi with Japan. Right? And that's what Dingleberry Dana White, he still has nightmares of the Almighty Pride FC scrubbing up the UFC and just completely dominating them, being the #1 promotion with the UFC and making UFC second fiddle. So it's politics.
Jay, I'm pretty sure he has nightmares every time he has to look back at the footage of, I think it was Chuck Liddell versus Alistair Overeem in Pride, huh?
Yeah, that's one of them. Also, there was several other fighters that came over from the UFC, but that was the main one. Is Alistair Overeem knocking out Chuck Liddell, or was it Rampage? No, it was Rampage beat down. Yeah, because Chuck beat Overeem, and then Rampage beat the snot out of Chuck, and to where they threw in the towel. They threw in the towel, and Dingleberry Dana White was ringside commentary, and he had to get up and run. And that was the last we ever saw of him in the Almighty Pride. So he tucked tail and ran like a whipped dog after that, and lost the bet, everything. And he what's it called? When he welched on a bet about Chuck making it to the finals and fighting Wanderlei Silva, and he welched on that bet. So I mean, you're actually right. He has nightmares of that, and that's why I think it's political with Horiguchi and then not signing him because they have the money. Let's be real. They have the money to pay Horiguchi to sign him to come over and fight in UFC. But they just don't want to do it because they don't want another epic RIZIN fighter to come over from Japan. This time the fans will associate him with Japan, and they just don't want that. They just don't want that to happen with Horiguchi. They'd rather it be one of their quote unquote homegrown Japanese guys that come over from like the road to UFC or whatever. If they come, rise up in the UFC and get a UFC title, that's how they want. They just don't want. It's political, but that's going to put a massive chip on Horiguchi's shoulders, to where he's going to want to come out there and prove a point. Like, you know what, you guys fumbled. You guys fumbled big time. You should have signed me, and this is why. And also, it's going to be an added chip on his shoulder because of the fact the first fight ended in, some people say, a fluke KO. So Horiguchi's going to want to prove that Dingleberry Dana White fumbled and that it was a fluke KO and that he should have been the winner of the first fight. So, and it's just, and Pettis, Sergio Pettis, he's a UFC fighter, a former UFC fighter as well. Got some big time UFC wins. Former Bellator champion. He's a great fighter. So this is a fantastic match. And normally I root for the American fighters. You know me, but Sergio Pettis, ever since he's been, I love the guy for initially, he's actually the one that made it happen, the first fight, by calling out Horiguchi, but he calls it RIZIN instead of RIZIN. He's one of the fighters that it's like nails on a chalkboard.
At this point here, I knew that you were going to get to the whole RIZIN versus RIZIN type of thing, because of course, as we both know, it's called RIZIN. Not RIZIN.
Yes. How hard is that? Why is he continuing to call it RIZIN? I mean, when Shatri Sitchadong of that damn one championship, when he calls it RIZIN, obviously it's because of for disrespectful purposes, right? Mm-hmm. But why is Sergio calling it RIZIN? Like, does he not know it's called RIZIN by this point? What is the purpose of that? It's like, it's so frustrating, and it just makes me want to see Horiguchi beat him down or knock him out and stand over him and say, it's called RIZIN, bitch. So
aside from all that, because we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next fight, but who do you see when? I mean, it's a pretty rhetorical question now at this point. We both think that Horiguchi is gonna win this, so that there can be a trilogy fight happening. But how do you see this fight going? Like, what? I mean, do you think that it's going to end in a finish or something?
I hope so. Sergio Pettis, he did some interviews on the We Are RIZIN podcast interview with Andrew, where he was talking about, he knows the assignment, basically, or he understands the assignment. We'll see if he knows the assignment in the fight. But he knows that they allow grounded kicks, grounded knees, stomps, all that, all the superior rule set. So is he going to know the assignment when he gets in the ring? That's another question. We know Kyoji Horiguchi knows it. So, I mean, hopefully we see a finish. And I think Horiguchi's going to come out guns blazing, trying to get that finish. Because I mean, because he got finished the first fight, right? So he wants to prove a point in this fight. I just think he's got to have a massive chip on his shoulder. I got Horiguchi just wanting to come out and prove a point. And Sergio Pettis, love him, but he calls it RIZIN. It's like I just want to see him beat down for that. And but even if he loses, there's going to be a trilogy in the future for the for the flyweight title. And actually, even if he wins, even if Sergio Pettis does know the assignment, scores a knockdown, gets a grounded kick finish, I mean, they're still going to do the rematch for the flyweight title. That's just going to be even more. They're going to be, hey, well, okay, beat him at bantamweight, but can he beat him at flyweight for the title when the title's on the line, right? So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I definitely got Gucci 2 belts. Shot me because remember he has experience at 135 pounds, right? He was a champion. That's why I call him Gucci 2 belts, right? So I mean, it's just I see Horiguchi winning this all the way. He's got something to prove. So and it's going to be on his home turf of Japan. And is this Sergio's first time in the ring as well? I think it's Sergio's first time in the ring, so he's gonna have to adjust to that.
Second time in the ring because he did say to Andrew, and oh, by the way, you say check out my interview. Check out Andrew's interview with Sergio Pettis as well, because Sergio did say to Andrew that he hasn't had a fight in a ring since his second professional fight, if I'm not mistaken. Andrew, you're in the damn comments. Can you quote us on that? I mean,
yeah, okay. So it's either his first or second fight in the ring. So he's not experienced in the ring. So that could, and this will be his first fight on the superior rule set, right? So how is he going to adjust to that? Is he going to know the assignment? Is it going to be? It's just a lot of factors here. So we'll see how it plays out. But no matter what happens, we're going to get the trilogy sometime in the future for the flyweight title. But I'm picking Horiguchi to come out there and win in dominant fashion, proving that first fight was a fluke, proving that the Dingleberry Dana White in the UFC fumbled by not signing him, and just with the point and proving that he is arguably the best lighter weight fighter outside the UFC. That's what I see happening.
I see. And now we're gonna go ahead and keep on going with this fight card because I feel like we got some more epicness to talk about in the co-main event. That, let's face it, even though Juan Archuleta, let's just say, had a very, I wouldn't say lackluster performance, but he damn sure didn't do enough to get people interested in him by missing weight on New Year's Eve this past year, for his fight against Hiromasu Gikubo, right?
Yes. No, it was Kaya Sakura. Remember? Remember Kaya Sakura got him with a knee to the body, a rib crushing knee that finished him?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he didn't do much to get the appreciation of the fans over on this side of the Pacific.
Well, no, not necessarily. You're talking about the weight miss, but
yeah,
that game. Remember that game, a yellow card, automatic yellow card, to where he couldn't only get a no contest, and so he had. I mean, it really lit a fire under him and brought that dog out of him, because he was coming in that fight looking to kill Kai. I mean, he was swinging for the fences, trying to take his head off every single time. So I thought it really brought the dog out in one. And it really made the fight more exciting. I remember people were joking in the RIZIN Discord that if that's what it takes for Juan to fight like that, maybe he should miss weight every time. But that's why he's moving up in weight for this fight, because they're not going to have him fight a bantamweight anymore. This is at featherweight.
Let me go ahead and make mention of what we're talking about here for those that are actually listening and not just the zero that is appearing on my StreamYard screen right now. But still... Juan the Spaniard Archuleta, the multiple-time King of the Cage champ, the former Bellator bantamweight champion, will take on former KSW and RIZIN featherweight champion, who also came off a weight miss loss. Well, actually, who also came off a weight miss and then ended up getting slugged by Chihiro Suzuki, that being Kleber Koike Herbst. Of course, let me go ahead and give the particulars, even though nobody really needs any explanation on those. Archuleta, 29-5 overall, 36 years of age, 5'7", 134 pounds with 69-inch reach. From your neck of the woods, JayWolf, Southern California, Hesperia speaking, so to speak.
Yeah, Southern California represent.
Representing Bonjai Jiu-Jitsu, Clever Koike Earps, who only goes by the name Clever Koike, 32-7-1, 5'10", 146 and a quarter pounds with a 70.5-inch reach, 34 years of age, originally from Sao Paulo, Brazil, fighting out Iwate, Shizuoka, Japan. Of course, he is currently riding a one. Well, actually, no. He came off of losing to Masanori Kanehara after the no contest against Chihiro Suzuki, then choked out Yutaka Saito in his comeback fight. So, yeah, that's enough about. I mean, Clever Koike is coming back with an axe to grind, so to speak. Archuleta, on the other hand, he has not fought since New Year's Eve when he lost to Kaya Sakura. So, I know you're saying, hey, this is going to be Archuleta's revenge fight, but don't you think it's also Clever's, coming back fight as well?
Yes, both these fighters have something to prove here. And Sakakibara-san, the CEO of Epic RIZIN, he also added a little tidbit that this could be for a potential #1 contenders fight. This could be the fight that, this bout could determine who's fighting next for the featherweight title against Chihiro Suzuki. So, I think both fighters, like you said, they're going to want to have something to prove. That fight on New Year's Eve that Juan's coming off of, that fight was it was awesome, but he did lose via devastating knee, rib crushing knee to the body. And that propelled Kai to where, he's being potentially going to be signed to the UFC, right? That could be one of the announcements of the 5 that's going to happen during 47's intermission, in addition to the BKFC announcements, most likely. And we didn't even speculate who the BKFC announcements were going to be. Man, I'm mad we didn't do that. That's okay. We can do that later if you want. And also, we didn't mention what's Rude Boy's name again? The one that fought BKFC, the inaugural BKFC fight.
Tatsuki Shinosuke.
Shinosuke, that's it. Thank you. He's being sent over to the States in July 12th, I think it is, to fight in a BKFC event in the States here. So that's like the official collaborations happening in July, and that was another announcement that was made as well. So, but we can talk about that later. Anyways, we'll get back to this fight. And Juan he's wanting to come in here and prove that, hey, I'm the man. I'm the one that's going to be fighting for the title next. He's already smack talking against Chihiro. I don't know if you saw that, but Chihiro responded saying that, Juan, he's going to shut Juan's mouth up if he wins and all this and that. So they're already hyping it like Juan's going to win here. And, honestly, he does have a good chance because, as we saw with Kanehara and Patricio pound for pound Pitbull, they showed the way to beat Clever, which is, great defensive wrestling where they're able to keep it on the feet, and then also offensive wrestling where they're able to stay out of, and negate all of Clever, because Clever is a jiu-jitsu fighter. He's arguably one of the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters for the lighter weight classes in the game today. And, but Kanehara and Pitbull, they showed that great offensive wrestling and counter jiu-jitsu is the key to beating him. So, Juan, he has excellent wrestling. And remember, Juan Archuleta is the only man to defeat Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix is people are talking about one of the greatest of the modern era of lighter weight fighters who could go over to the UFC right now and arguably win the title right now, right? So, Juan Archuleta is the only man to beat him convincingly too. It was not a split decision; it was a unanimous decision. So, Juan Archuleta, that's arguably his biggest win to date, right? So, I mean, he's no joke and he did it with counter wrestling as well. So, Juan Archuleta, he's got the wrestling to keep it on the feet. And as we saw in that Kaya Sakura fight, he's got that dog in him to where he can come and swing for the fences and swing for the kill. So I mean, Clever, he's gonna have to do. I mean, Clever has those sneaky trips, right? And we already know he has killer jiu-jitsu. So if he can land a trip and actually get Juan down and utilize his jiu-jitsu, Juan's going to be in trouble. But I think Juan has good enough defensive wrestling where he's going to be able to keep it on the feet, and he's got good enough striking where he's going to be able to outstrike Clever. And, as we saw in 2 New Year's Eves ago, the Bellator versus RIZIN New Year's Eve show, Juan Archuleta does know how to utilize grounded knees. So he knows the assignment. So could we see that in this fight as well? So it's just a lot of questions happening here. So I'm excited to see how it's answered.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see that as well. But if you think about it, when it comes down to this fight, again, Archuleta, at least to me, didn't do many favors with the North American audience by coming in missing weight. And, people like myself were really excited about that. I mean, shit, I interviewed the dude before this. I mean, I was definitely excited to see that fight happen. It's just the fact that he came in, missed weight, pretty much put himself into a lose-lose situation from the get-go. And now, here we are here he is coming off a loss. And now, he's going to have to try and earn his way back into not only title contention, but most likely to, big-time fight contention as well. I mean, especially considering the fact that it's going to be harder to get, it's going to be harder to get those big television show bookings when you're now closer to Japan, especially over here. It's harder to get big television show bookings here when you're exclusive to a promotion in Japan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But this is at featherweight. Juan missed weight at bantamweight, 135 pounds. This is at 145 pounds. So I don't think we're going to have a weight issue this time. The one we might have a weight issue with is Clever Quake Ertz. He's the one that missed weight at featherweight. So he's got something to prove that he can make the weight at featherweight division. So, that with the weight cut, I don't think it's going to affect Juan. I think it's going to affect Clever more. So could that be, and if Clever misses weight again, then he's going to be forced up to lightweight, so at 155 pounds. So, and the only reason he's not there already is because of his teammate. Satoshi De Souza is the current lightweight champion, right? So, and he doesn't want to fight his teammate. So it's just going to be real interesting to see. I really don't see Juan having issues on the scale, because remember that New Year's Eve fight, he missed weight initially, right? And and Kyle Zakura and Sakaki Barson them said that, okay, well, the fight's still going to be on, but you got to make at least the bantamweight limit. At least the featherweight limit to make the fight happen on fight night. So, and Juan made that weight fight night, right? Remember? So he's already proven he can make the weight of featherweight even on fight night. So, I don't see that with the weight cuts being a problem this time, unless it's for Clever. So, and that could be another factor advantage to Juan. He's not going to be as drained as Clever will be. So I just see this fight. Honestly, it's obviously I'm picking Juan, but I just see that the advantages are all in Juan's favor here on this fight. Because, look at the Patricio Pitbull fight. Patricio's a smaller featherweight, right? But Clever was, significantly bigger than him. And Patricio was able to negate the takedown attempts and stay out of his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game and get that W. So the blueprint is there for Juan, because he'll be similar in size to how Patricio is at featherweight. He'll be a smaller, but he was a huge bantamweight, so he's going to be like Patricio size at featherweight. So I can see him really, really putting on a show here and beating. And if he does, if it's an impressive performance by either man, I bet you either way, if it's an impressive performance, I believe that's the caveat that will get them the title shot in the future against Chihiro Suzuki. But if it's just a grinded out decision without a sensational finish or whatever, or without, even if there's not like a sensational fight, if it's like a grind wrestling, like, just like controlling decision, basically, I think that's why that it's not officially a number one contender fight. They're waiting on to see on the outcome before they announce that yes, it was a number one contender fight. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm just super excited for this. And also, we got to say, remember, Juan Archuleta, he also embraces the pageantry of the walkouts. This could possibly be a walkout of the year candidate here. Remember on his New Year's Eve shows, he had dressed up in that full Jaguar Warrior, Aztec Warrior gear for his walkout, remember? So he really embraces the full spectrum of the Japanese mixed martial arts scene with the pageantry, everything, knows the rule set, knows the assignment for the rule set, so superior rule set. So this could really be a fantastic fight here. I'm really looking forward to this one.
I see. And the Tapology Faithful are saying that 56% of Tapology Faithful are saying that they want to see Archuleta get the win. A good chunk of them want to see him get the win via decision. So who knows? Maybe if the fight ends up being a bore fest or the fight ends in a decision win for Archuleta, at least people could say his outfit was fly.
Yeah. And also, remember, one of the announcements possibly of the fight that's going to be announced during the 47th intermission could possibly be announcing officially that Chihiro Suzuki is facing Patricio Pound for Pound Pitbull for their super fight rematch, and that could be the official announcement. And it would make sense because the stars have aligned for that. They're both coming off wins, title defenses, and it just the stars. That fight is the fight to make, I think. So the only way that I see them, getting for this fight between Kleber and Juan becoming a number one contender fight is if they have a sensational performance, either man. It can't just be a regular grinded out decision. It's got to be a show-stopping performance. Otherwise, there's no way they're going to put, because Chihiro is the champion of the featherweight division in the Epic Rising. Arguably, their biggest Rising superstar right now. So, and they're all signs point to them doing the Patricio Pound for Pound rematch first. So unless this bout is just, a showstopper, sensational finish, then I don't see it being a number one contender before the super fight rematch with Patricio Pound for Pound Pitbull. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, we got what if it is a spectacular finish? What if when Kleber is trying to pull guard or whatever, Juan hits him with a flying stomp finish when we get the first flying stomp KO of the new era. I mean, that would be a title worthy performance, right? So we'll see how it goes.
Hopefully so. Now let's go ahead and move out of the co-main event and main event picture. And in order of the fights that are actually going to be taking place according to the listings that RIZIN has, and I'm trying my damnedest to basically get the card up here. Oh, yeah, that's right. According to the RIZIN fight listings for this card, Mikio Ueda will be taking on Przemysław Kowalczyk in the chief support bout to the double main event on this card. And of course, when it comes down to these two fighters, first of all, Przemysław Kowalczyk, as of course our good Polish buddies Janek Mizodonski and Daniel Dzubecki wanted me to pronounce him as Przemysław Kowalczyk. He is 6'4", 193 centimeters, weighs 260.1 pounds, 118 kilograms, and has a reach of 210 centimeters or 82.7 inches. Representing Marga Puławy, fighting out of Puławy, Poland. He is 3-0 as a professional. And if I'm not mistaken, as I am checking this right now, it's called research on the fly, people. Understand it. He is 3-0. All three of his wins by way of first round knockout. Read my lips. First round knockout. So, don't push him. His opponent, Mikio Ueda, is just as brutal. First of all, he represents the Brave gym coached by Lil Hercules himself, Kazuyuki Mihara and Takahiro Ashida, both of whom RIZIN veterans. In the case of Miyata, the 2000 Olympic representative for Japan in Greco-Roman wrestling. Ueda, 6'4", 242.1 pounds. No, 6'2", 241.1 pounds. 29 years of age, representing Brave Gym. He is 3-1 as a professional mixed martial artist. And let's see here. Out of his 4 fights, after losing to Tsuyoshi Kosaka in his professional MMA debut, he has gone on to win his last 3 fights via knockout, 2 of the 3 of them in the first round, even winning his K1 debut over Keisuke Nakajima. Of course, we remember that back in September of 2023 that happened. But also, he hasn't had a fight since New Year's Eve when he knocked out Tsuyoshi Sudario. So when it comes down to this battle of the super big boys, shout out to New Legacy Inc., by the way, who do you think is going to have the advantage? And just wanted to remind you quickly, Tapology has this 59-41 Ueda.
Nice, yeah. I mean, because Ueda, he's a Kyokushin karate fighter, and he really, for a big guy, he has some fantastic striking. And just, I mean, that Sudario finish, go check it out. He got with a head kick and just great striking for a big man, and with kicks and everything. So I really like him, and this could arguably be for the winner of this could be really, especially if it's Ueda. I mean, I could easily see him fighting for an inaugural heavyweight title in the Epic RIZIN Fighting Federation, and his opponent Kowalczyk is from Poland, like we're saying, and there's something going on with him with KSW. I don't know if his next fight is going to be in KSW or not. We were talking about that with Daniel Zubicki, saying that because it was initially thought that he is currently under contract with KSW and they're letting him fight in RIZIN first and then going over to KSW. But Daniel Zubicki said no, he interviewed him, saying no, he's not with KSW yet, and but they're going to sign him after this bout or whatever. So, but there's something, and remember Sakakibara-san, the CEO of Epic RIZIN, he tweeted about saying that there's the collaboration with KSW is happening, and Kowalczyk was part of that. So, and Jay Krish, isn't Kowalczyk one of the fighters you potentially might be interviewing, that you were talking about interviewing?
I would hope so.
Okay, yeah. If you get the interview with Kowalczyk, please ask him about what the status is with KSW, right? And is he going to be signing with them? Is he currently under contract with them? What's the deal with that? Is it an actual collaboration bout with KSW right now? That I would really like to know the answer to that question. So and if he wins here, is he going to be fighting in KSW next, or is he going to be fighting in RIZIN again? So just some quick questions to think about. And like I said, I really appreciate you asking about the Grand Prix when you interviewed Shingo. So it's great to hear from Shingo-san saying that they're going to continue Grand Prix, of course, because I love those. So, but this bout, I mean, like you're saying, Kowalczyk is 3-0, first round finishes. So he's never been past the first or second round. So what is Ueda going to be able to weather that storm of the first couple rounds and take him into deep waters? And if that happens, I really think Ueda's got the advantage, and because it's hard. It's not easy to go in the third round, right? So that's what I think Ueda's going to be trying to do. He's going to try to obviously avoid the first round blitz to not get knocked out in the first round, obviously, and he's going to try to take Kowalczyk in deep waters where he's never been before, try to really test him. And Ueda's got this sensational Kyokushin karate striking to where he's going to be throwing body kicks, all that good stuff. So, I mean, it's really going to be a tough test for Kowalczyk here. And, it'll be real interesting to see how is Ueda going to be able to finish him? If Ueda finishes him, I wonder, there's speculation that Ueda could be going, because they need, in KSW, they need contenders for their heavyweight championship. It was currently held by Phil DeFries, right? He's fighting a Bellator UFC veteran, Augustus Sakai. I think that's also this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So if whoever wins the KSW championship, possibly the winner of this bout right here could be the next to face the KSW champion, or they could be bringing the KSW champion over for the inaugural RIZIN belt. We don't know how it's going to go. Maybe that could be one of the 5 announcements happening at 47's intermission. We'll see. But just so many awesome things about this fight. I mean, everybody loves the big boys, right? So, and this is some big boy strikers right here. Some big boy strikers that we're probably going to see a finish. So, and we already know that Ueda knows the assignment. I think we've seen him throw some grounded knees and some grounded kicks before. So we'll see if he continues that, and we'll see if Kowalczyk, how he adapts to the superior rule set, and if he knows the assignment as well. So it's going to be a really good fight. I can't wait.
I see. I can only hope that it'll live up to the expectation of, this particular fight card. And, oh, by the way, I'm just now realizing this, and this is coming hot off the presses 25 minutes ago. Do you want me to go ahead and say it now or later? Because this is pertaining to the epic collaboration between BKFC and RIZIN.
Say it right now, hot off the presses. I mean, we are just talking about in this potential bout with Ueda and Kowalczyk about the potential collaboration with KSW. So I mean, it kind of collaborates itself. So yeah, let's hear it. What is it?
Okay, according to, and I don't know if this is for real or just basically, us being shit canned here, but still though. This is coming from the Twitter account of Majin Saito, a.k.a., if I'm trying to get his damn name out there, this is coming from at Majin, MAJAN _SAITOU, John Saito. And I think this is going to be some really interesting shit. The 2 bouts representing BKFC at Super RIZIN 28, at Super RIZIN 3 on July the 28th might be John Dodson versus Takaki Soya. John
Nice.
In the BKFC flyweight champion. And Ty Emery, the chick who showed her boobs to the crowd, versus Charissa Segala.
Oh, nice. I mean, that would make sense because John Dodson, of course, has been moonlighting between both promotions, fighting in the Epic RIZIN, going over to BKFC, fighting in BKFC, and he just lost a close decision. I think that was to Oji Kubo on New Year's Eve, right? So that would definitely make sense for him to be part of that show. So and that's interesting about the other one's going to be a female bout. And they're bringing the female that flashed the crowd after a win. That's funny. So I wonder if that's going to be that's actually real. But that guy Majin Sato, he's a Japanese poster, right? Like he posts in Japanese.
He is.
Yeah. So he usually has good information. So that very well could be, that's what we talk about. When I was saying the word on the streets, that's who I get it from. Is from Japanese accounts like that. So. That could very well be what the announcers are going to be. Dodson, and will it be? Does it say we defend the fly title, the BKFC fly title?
I mean, from what Majin Saito has sent, I don't think it'll be for the BKFC flyweight belt. Okay,
so just like more of like an exhibition type of thing. So okay, well that makes sense. Because I think doesn't the BKFC title fights, aren't they 5 rounds? So that would make sense because they want to keep it a 3-round bout. This is undercard of the Super RIZIN 3 event. So that makes sense for the non-title fight. But man, huge name.
If I'm mistaken, it is 5 2-minute rounds. It's just not for the title.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right, well, guess we'll see during the 47's intermission announcements. Maybe they'll clarify that if it is for the title or not for the title, but according to the rumors, is going to be a non-title bout. But it's John Dodson, the current BKFC champion, coming over, being part of the Super RIZIN 3. That's pretty cool. That's huge, and just
now again, to those that are actually watching, we don't know if this is officially official. Take that with a little grain of salt. But still, though, if this is officially announced, I mean, outside of what Maijin Saito put out, you can say at least we cracked the code first.
Yeah.
But we cracked the code first. You can basically count it down. 1 hour, 20 minutes, 12 seconds, or whatever. We cracked the goddamn code first for RIZIN, for Super and the BKFC fights.
Yeah, you heard it here first, right? That's what it is. You heard it here first. John Dotson's going to be part of the announcements, and we'll get those announcements during 47's intermission. So, and I wonder, would they even? They might even do like a video type of conference type of thing, right?
They should.
Because I mean, like we were saying, John Dodson is known to the Japanese audience. He's been moonlighting back and forth between the promotions. He's fought in the Epic RIZIN before, as most recently as New Year's Eve. So I mean, it's just like it's a no-brainer to me. So that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. So we'll see what happens during 47's intermission, and hopefully that only counts as one of the announcements, because we're supposed to get 5 of them total. So it'll be real interesting to see, because I want to hear some more like the ones we were talking about in the intro, or the first segment, I should say, about where the next international event's going to be and all that kind of good stuff. Could it be maybe announcing the Grand Prix? Hopefully, I mean, who knows? So it's going to be awesome to see what the announcements are. But definitely could see them doing John Dodson having a video conference, him announcing the fight officially, especially since a huge news announced today about them collaborating with official collaboration with BKFC, where it's like going to be a co-promotion type of a thing. And like we said here on the show, they're sending the fighter over to on July 12th to BKFC in America, and they already did an official BKFC bout in Japan on 46. They even had a BKFC official there explain the official rules, BKFC rules, and refereeing the bout. So the collaboration with BKFC is in full swing, and everything I've seen from the fans, they absolutely love it. Talking to Aisha on the City Life Project podcast, he freaking loves it. And then in the Discord, RIZIN Discord chat, several of the fans just absolutely love BKFC and love the collaboration already. So it's already paying off big time. And it'll just be great to see the co-promotion where they advertise on each other on each of their shows. So it's just, man, I just can't wait to see what happens. It's awesome. It's freaking awesome. So that's breaking news for you, the audience, Focus Fights audience. First, you heard it here first from Jay Krish. That's going to be Dodson and what's the girl's name that did the flashing again?
T-A-I, first name. E-M-E-R-Y, second name. No, last name.
Oh, Ty Emery. Yes. Okay. Cool. So those are potentially the 2 BKFC crossover bouts that's going to be on Super RIZIN 3. And we'll find out more officially during RIZIN 47's intermission, when Sakakibara-san promised to announce 5 announcements for us. So that's pretty cool. Big, huge news. Awesome. And you heard it here first on Focus Fights.
Yeah, let's go ahead and continue on with the rest of the show now that we are basically in the mood to talk more about this fight card. And that is, let's go ahead and talk about the fight that will be coming out of the intermission portion of this event. And that is in the featherweight division, Koji Takeda welcoming newcomer to RIZIN. That's been a highly talked about European fighter. Let me go ahead and pronounce this right. Razabali Shadulayev.
Nice. Good job. You got a first try. Perfect. Perfect on the first try.
The particulars on Razabali. 9-0 as a professional mixed martial artist. All 9 of his wins by way of finish. 7 submissions, 2 knockouts. He is a 3-fight veteran of ACA, a 4-fight veteran of Batarbashi MMA. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. But still, though, point of the matter is, He also fought in Road FC, choking out Ji Yon Yang, who is a RIZIN veteran at this point, and his most recent fight was a rear naked choke victory at UAE Warriors 45. His particulars: 5 feet 7, about 135 pounds, representing Ikhlas MMA, IHLAS, fighting out of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, by way of Zergetal, Tajikistan. He is all of 23 years old, born on October the 11th in the year 2000. So they grow him, I mean, I wouldn't say they grow him young, but damn, they pick up the game so fast. And his opponent, of course, the tanning bed warrior, Koichi Takeda. 5'7", 156 pounds with 68.1-inch reach, representing Brave Gym, fighting out of Saitama, Japan. 28 years of age. He is 6-5, and well, actually 6-6 in RIZIN, because we're gonna count that one fight for the Bellator RIZIN card from 2022 as a part of his RIZIN experience. But yeah, he is 6-6 in RIZIN competition. And his most recent bout was a win back in March over Kyohei Hagiwara via unanimous decision. So he is going into this particular fight, you know, not only being the underdog in this, but basically hoping not to get his ass kicked, let alone suplex, because of course, Tapology Faithful saying 90% that Razabali is going to win this fight. But how do you think that Takeda should go about this fight, knowing that he's going up against a very young, very dangerous hotshot opponent who could or could not take his head off?
Well, like I was saying on the City Life project with Aisha, that, you know, Takeda wants to take over the mantle of the suplex machine and Little Hercules from Miyata, right? So he's going to be, and he's got excellent wrestling. And this is actually down a weight class. Remember, he's a lightweight initially, and he has already, you know, fought at featherweight and went the distance at featherweight and proved that he can do that. And it doesn't drain him. The weight cut doesn't drain him too much. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him implement his wrestling grappling game plan. Now, Shadalayev is a grappler as well. He's got dangerous submissions. So, but does he have the wrestling to keep up with Takeda, right? Because I mean, Takeda, like I was saying on City Life Project yesterday, or the show I did earlier that's going to be coming out here soon with Aisha, Takeda has one of the best combos I've ever seen in the Epic RIZIN Fighting Federation. He did a suplex to a stomp to a grounded knee as the fighter was standing up. It was just so awesome. One of the best combos I've ever seen. So if he hits something like that against Shadalayev, how is Shadalayev going to react? You know, and you know, Shadalayev has finished every single one of his opponents, right? He's never gone to the third round. So is Takeda going to be able to, you know, weather the initial storm and drag Shadalayev into the deep waters? And if he does that, I think he's got a good chance of winning, because this is going to be the toughest test that Shadalayev has ever faced, I think. And you know, they're really, I mean, Shadalayev is one of the hottest prospects that RIZIN signed, you know, obviously, and just, I mean, they hyped up big time about his signing, and rightfully so. He's a fantastic prospect, and he's not even 25 years old yet. Does look great in every single one of his fights. Like you said, finished a tough fighter like Ji Yon Yang in Road FC. So they're throwing him right into the fire here against Takeda, because Takeda was, you know, look at his record. He's not fought any scrubs. He always fights higher level guys, and you know, this is really going to be a tough test for Shadalayev. And it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with Takeda's grappling and wrestling game plan, and if he knows the assignment, right? I mean, it's because we know Takeda knows the assignment. Like I was just saying, that one of the best combos I've ever seen was a suplex, a stomp to grounded knee. So, you know, is Shadalayev going to be able to deal with that? How's he going to be able to deal with that? I mean, we can see him get his first loss here, but you know, but if he knows the assignment, we could also see him pull off a spectacular finish. This would be the biggest win of his career. And honestly, this right here, this could be showing who could be potentially next in line for a number one contender bout at featherweight, right? Because both these guys shot alive, super hot prospect, high profile signing. Takeda was a high profile lightweight, already fighting for number one contender bouts at lightweight. Now it dropped down to featherweight, so now this is a very high profile fight for him as well. If either one of these guys puts on a spectacular performance, I could easily see them being next in line for a number one contender bout, possibly against the winner of Kleber versus Juan in the co-main event.
Oh yeah, of course. But then again, if you're Shadoulayev, I mean, I don't know if you should be thinking that far ahead because you're only 23. You're 9-0 as a professional, and you couldn't be. You can't. It's basically like getting pushed out too soon into the world. It's like you don't want to basically take L's this early in your career, otherwise it might fuck up your progression.
Well, that's how they do it in Japan. They throw them to the fire. They throw them to the wolves right away, right? They've always done that, especially with a high-profile signing like this. That's why they got him against Takeda.
Yeah, but Jay, you're not getting my point though. The dude's 9-0. I don't think that. I mean, yeah, I think that this fight against Takeda is the most important of his career so far. But you don't want to be thinking about trying to get championships when you're not even 25 yet.
Why not? That's what Chihiro did. And Chihiro, I mean, several other fighters, have gone at 25.
Chihiro's the exception, not the rule. Let's just be real.
No. What about Siki Izawa, another champion before 25 or at 25?
And the exception, not the rule.
Okay, well, maybe Shadoulayev is an exception as well. I mean, and we're not saying after this, he gets an immediate title shot. Excuse me. We're saying after this bout, depending on how the performance goes, could be a potential number one contenders bout against the winner of the co-main between Juan and Kleber. So I see that as a good progression, to be honest with you.
I see. And oh, by the way, Armand Jonas, thank you for joining us on the podcast finally. Good morning. It's 5:15 a.m. Well, shit, now I'm getting it 30 minutes late. Woke up a while ago and saw a message on the Discord about the RIZIN BKFC partnership.
What's up, Armin? Thank you for listening, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's huge news. We've been talking about it this whole podcast. Did a fantastic for the first segment we were talking about. It could be part of the announcements. There's going to be 5 announcements during RIZIN 47's intermission, and that's probably going to be a big part of it, is announcing that and announcing. And then we just broke the news that you're here first about the BKFC fights that are probably going to be announced for Super RIZIN 3, which is going to be John Dodson and what's her name again, Jay Krish?
Ty Emery.
Ty Emery, yes, and that's the girl that flashed her boobs after she won, that went viral for that. So those are the announcements that are possibly, we don't know yet, but that's what the word on the streets is going to be, and you heard it here first on Focus Fights. So appreciate you listening. So I mean, Jay Krish, do you want to talk any more about Shadoulayev and Takeda?
We've already said enough about this fight. It's a young rookie. Well, not really a rookie, considering the obvious fact that in the case of Shadoulayev, he's only fought for the 5 years as a pro, which also included him being the Gamma featherweight champion in 2022. In the middle of his professional career, he ended up taking amateur fights and became a genius at that, winning 3 fights, 2 via first round submission, by the way. So, again, you got a wrestling savant in Koji Takeda versus a submission, an amateur and professional submission ace. And I say amateur loosely because of the fact that who knows what the Global Association of MMA is really up to. Let's be real. But still, though, that fight's going to be a good fight. And I can only hope that, you know, after everybody gets their shit done during the intermission, people are going to be enjoying some great action because of this. And Armand's continuing the conversation saying, yeah, I saw the fight announcements. Dotson versus Sawyer is confirmed. Takaki Sawyer already posted it on his end. And Ty Emery's opponent, Charissa Sigala, is a beast.
Nice, great info, Armin. So it's confirmed about Dotson. That's a no-brainer in my opinion because he has RIZIN experience already. He's known over in Japan. Like I said, he just fought most recently on New Year's Eve, and he's been moonlighting back and forth between RIZIN and BKFC. So that makes total sense. And but we just need to know, Armin, did it say if it was confirmed if it was a championship bout or a non-title bout? Because Dotson is the current flyweight title contender right now. But you know what, Jay Chris, I just thought about it. It would make sense that it would not be a championship bout because remember in his most recent championship bout, it was a draw, right? It was a draw.
Yeah.
So
the most recent bout against a boxer from the Dominican Republic, it was a draw. And I think that BKFC want to really sell people on that rematch. So
yes. So that's why this one wouldn't be a non-title bout because they want to save the actual official title bout for the rematch. But they're bringing Dotson over to bolster the Super RIZIN 3 card and kick off this the official collaboration between RIZIN and BKFC with their champion Dotson, who is known in Japan already.
And Jonas is actually correct. It's non-title fight, 2-round bout with. Wait a minute.
No, he means two minutes, 5 minute 2-minute rounds. That's what he's talking about.
Rounds, not 2 5-minute rounds.
Yeah, five 2-minute rounds. Yeah, but that makes sense. It's non-championship bout because his most recent one, I had forgotten earlier when we were talking about it, but his most recent BKFC bout, his title defense was a draw. So they want to run that back, and that's what they're going to save the next title bout for is that one. But they're letting Dotson here because he's known in Japan, and he's like I said, he's fought in RIZIN a bunch of times, and it just makes total sense. It's really a no-brainer to have Dotson be part of it. So it makes total sense, 100%.
Yeah, of course. Now let's go ahead and continue on down the list of fights because now that we got the. And yeah, Jonas is basically correcting himself here. Sorry, 5 rounds. We understand, Armand. But still, though, let's go back and let's talk about the 5 fights that are going to take place to kick off the card. Starting with the lightweight fight. Yeah, the super lightweight fight at 71 kilos, 157 pounds, between the Alpha Ginger and the Red Horse, a.k.a., Spike Carlisle versus Kim Pyo Kim. Of course, if you know somebody who's a bigger flair, let's just say Archuleta is a flair for great entrances. Sure as hell is Carlisle. And of course, Carlisle, 14-6 overall, former UFC and recent Bellator veteran. And of course, Jonas, we understand you gotta go. Thanks for being on the show, dude. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for waking up with us. We understand you got to go to work and stuff over there, and I think he's over. Is he India? Anyways, he's somewhere overseas. Obviously, it's 5:15 a.m. over there. So great. Thanks for stopping by, Armin. Appreciate you commenting and everything and listening.
But still, though, let's go ahead and get back to the fight card. The Alpha Ginger Spike Carlisle, 14-6, former UFC veteran, and I don't know if he's got more fights left on his Bellator deal. I'll basically get back to that after I give you the particulars. 5'8", 156 pounds, 71.5-inch reach, representing the training lab, as in TREIGN lab, fighting out of San Diego, California, USA fighting out of San Diego, California, USA. And oh, actually, no, he doesn't fight out of the training lab anymore. He fights out of King's MMA Los Angeles. But yeah, point of the matter is, he is from San Diego, California, and he's currently 1-2 in the RIZIN Fighting Federation, beating Koji Takeda, but losing via decision to Roberto Satoshi de Souza in a non-title bout back on May 6th, and May 6th of 2023, by the way, and losing to Yoshinori Hori back at RIZIN 44. His opponent, representing MMA Story, fighting out Seoul, South Korea, the Red Horse Kyung Pyo Kim, 13-4 overall, 5'9", 156 pounds with a 71-inch reach, 32 years of age. He is a wrestler by trade. Of the 13 wins on his record, 11 of them are by way of finish, 7 knockouts, 4 submissions. He is a 5-fight Road FC veteran and currently won his last 2 RIZIN fights via rear naked choke submission victory over Sho Patrick Usami and knocking out Taral Rakimov in 21 seconds back at RIZIN Landmark 7 in Azerbaijan. Now, when it comes down to these topology predictions, 58% are saying that they want to see a Red Horse win. But when it comes down to this particular fight, who do you think has the advantage? The Alpha Ginger Carlisle or the Red Horse?
I mean, honestly, this is, and I think the odds are on Tapology are like almost 50-50 or 60-40, something like that. So, yeah, they are. It says 60-40. So this is a really close fight, another absolute banger. I mean, this card is just, Jay Chris, you're a pro wrestling fan. I mean, this card, it has the most international fighters since the pandemic. It's got 9 or 10 if you count Baynoa, and so it's got the most international fighters, and there's only 9 bouts, but almost every single one is a banger. And you're a pro wrestling fan, so when I look at this card, it's like, I just want to, when the RIZIN International lads are in town, it's banger after banger after banger. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Jay Krish. Bangers all around this card. I mean, it's just, and this one right here is the same thing. Spike Carlisle is just, he's proven exciting before. Yeah, he's coming off 2 losses, and really looking forward to seeing how he bounces back from those 2 losses last year. And like you were saying, Jay Krish, he's another one that embraces the walkout, the entirety of Japanese MMA, the pageantry, everything of the walkout. We're looking forward. We can possibly have, like I was saying on the City Life project yesterday, or when I did the City Life project, that should be dropping here in the next couple of days. That telling Aisha, we could potentially have 2 walkout of the year candidates on this 47 card: Juan Archuleta in the co-main event and Spike Carlisle. Because every time Spike's fought in Japan, he's always had a badass walkout, right? And he's always, even in his Bellator fights, he's had a badass walkout. So, I mean, he really embraces everything, including the pageantry, and his fights are exciting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if he can bounce back here. But, I mean, this is a banger fight here against a really tough opponent. Kyungpo Kim is, he's not only a Road FC veteran, but he's a Road to UFC veteran. And he's got to win. That's technically a UFC bout. He's got to win under. So, I mean, he's a tough fighter. Young. I mean, this is really going to be a banger. It makes sense why the odds are so close on Tapology, and that's like it is for a lot of fights on this card. It's a really, I mean, even though there's 9 of them, it's a really high quality card. This is really one of those quality over quantity cards. But I mean, honestly, for me, I want more. I want more than 9 bouts, especially if we're paying $20 for a pay-per-view. I want at least, UFC gives us 14 every single time. I want at least 14, right? I mean, geez, come on. But, anyways, this bout, I just can't wait to see. Spike is normally very exciting fighter. Same with Kyungpo Kim. So I'm expecting fireworks in this fight. And, we know Spike knows the assignment. See if he can utilize the assignment, utilize a superior rule set. We'll see how Kyungpo Kim does. I mean, it's just, man, this one just has banger written all over it. I mean, I just can't wait. I mean, I should pick Kyungpo Kim to win here. I mean, and it makes sense. You know, Aisha from the City Life Project, want to give them a shout out again. Make sure you go follow him, subscribe, and look out for the. I did a preview show with him as well. Watch for that coming later on this week. And on that show, he was picking Kim, saying that he's the younger fighter, and you know he's got this extreme, you know, great power, and his Road to UFC showing was fantastic. So he's a great all around fighter. So the great point is that he's coming off of wins. So he's got the momentum. Spike Carlisle's coming off of losses. He's trying to get back the momentum and get back into the win column. So it's that might be an advantage towards Kim. So we'll see. But I'm picking Spike Carlisle because you know me. I always go with them. I love my American fighters. I always root for them and pick them. So I mean the lone exception being Sergio Pettis in the main event, just because he says RIZIN instead of RIZIN. But in this one, I want Spike Carlisle to win 100%.
Yeah, of course. It's definitely going to be a banger fight when you think about it, especially because of the fact that these two, regardless of the situation, they just love to just beat the hell out of each other. And I think this fight is just going to be, I mean, obviously epic from start to finish, no doubt about it. But still, though, when it comes down to this particular fight, what do you think are going to be some of the downsides for it real quick?
I don't think there is any. I don't think there is any at all. I think it's a banger from start to finish. Like you're saying, from the walkouts on, it's going to be an absolute banger. And we're going to see a potentially walkout of the year candidate from Spike Carlisle and you know, maybe Kim as well. And then both these fighters are all action fighters. So I really don't see a downside to this event at all. I mean, the event and this fight, I don't see a downside at all. I think it's going to be an absolute banger. And I'm really hoping that Spike can get the W here and get back in the win column. And yeah, it'll be interesting. Like you were saying when you doing the intro of this fight, Jay Krish, we don't know what his status is with PFL Tour. Is he going to fight with PFL Tour again after this? Possibly. We don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Maybe he's an exclusive RIZIN fighter now, just like Juan Archuleta is. Well, but we don't know. So, you know, but still, it's just going to be, I mean, he's looking to get back in the win column. So I think Spike's really going to bring it here. But, I mean, Kim is a really tough opponent. I mean, kid's got power. Just man. And he's young. You know, he's not even 25 yet. So, he's going to be bringing that energy, action. But this really shaped to be one of the bangers of the night. Arguably a people's main event type of fight here. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm really looking forward to this one. And all of them, to be honest with you. But this one in particular.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I get exactly what you mean when it comes down to that particular fight. Now, let's go ahead and move down the list here. A fight that I originally thought was going to be, you know, the main fight coming out of the intermission, but instead it's going to be taking place over on the main card. Well, actually, over on the first half of the main card, the fight that I think is going to be a low-key banger, and that is Kashiwagi Doubtbeck versus Tetsuya Seiki.
Nice pronunciation again. Gotta hit it right the first time. That was great.
Now, about this fight, Seiki, 16-9-1. Oh, well, actually, no. First of all, foreign fighter first. Kashiwagi Doubtbeck, 5'7", 144.8 pounds, age 30, fighting out of Shymkent, Kazakhstan. This will be his second RIZIN appearance and his first in over 6 years when he lost via decision to Mikuru Asakura back at RIZIN 13, September 30th, 2018. The event before, I guess, disaster struck, no matter how you want to say it. I guess, you know, you could say that Mayweather versus Nasukawa was pretty much a disaster or a learning lesson or what have you. Point of the matter is, the motherfucker's been undefeated since then. Well, near undefeated since then, going 6-1 outside of RIZIN ever since that fight card. 6-1. Oh, by the way, with 5 consecutive devastating finishes in the first round. I mean, let me read off the ways he beat people up. TKO, punch to the liver, punch, punches from ground and pound, left hook. And that left hook was most recently at Kyoji Horiguchi's Top Breaks event back on January 21st against Koyomi Matsushima. But still, though, about Tetsuya Seiki, real quick. Seiki, 16-9-1, 5'10", 145.5 pounds with 70.7-inch reach, representing Sonic Squad, 30 years young, fighting out of, let's see if I'm pulling this up, Konan, Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan. He is 3-2 in the Rising Fighting Federation, hasn't fought in almost a year in the promotion when he defeated Reiki Endo. But yeah, he is 3-2 in Rising, and I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say this is gonna be it would be a close fight on paper, but Tapology is saying 97% of the masses are saying that they want to see Doubtbeck beat the doubt out of Seiki. So,
well done. But yeah, I mean, great intro to this fight. I mean, just a great breakdown of this fight. I mean, this is another one, like you're saying. I don't even think it's low key. I think it's a high key banger. This whole card. That's why I was doing that little pro wrestling a bit right there with you. This whole card is full of bangers. So I mean, it just and also on Twitter, you were talking about Dalpec, how he got on a nice run of finishes. Cerebral Vigilante, Del Sketo on Twitter. Check out his feed. He posted the highlight package from Doubtback showing this devastating finish. You're absolutely right. Fantastic finishes from this guy. And Shingo Kashiwagi, he was Shingo-san's breakdowns of the fight. You know, he does like on Twitter X or whatever you want to call it. His breakdowns was saying this is going to be a strikers battle, a striking battle. So it could be a strikers delight battle. So maybe we'll see. Maybe it could be a superior rule set strikers delight. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But this is absolutely going to be a high key banger, I think. So it's going to be awesome. And yeah, go check out Cerebral Vigilante on Twitter. Good friend, good bro, and just he's got a fantastic highlight tweet of Doubtback and all his finishes. So check that out. It's awesome. Really looking forward to this bout. Seeing if you know, hopefully we get a superior rule set, maybe even a superior rule set finish. Because you know, Jay Chris, we've gone 2 events now where we haven't had a superior rule set finish. The last superior rule set finish we had was
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, no. The Landmark 8, Satoshi De Souza did a grounded kick. Has some grounded kicks in his finish of who did he finish? Was it Kanahara? No, it wasn't Kanahara. It was another veteran. Anyways, Satoshi had a grounded kicks finish in his TKO finish on that. And that was 2 events ago. So we are due for a superior rule set finish. Now the previous events have had some superior rule set action in them, but it has not been a superior rule set finish in and it's very odd that we go 2 events. So I really see this event delivering some superior rule set action for us. And this fight right here, Doubtback versus Seki, could potentially be one of those bouts where we get a superior rule set finish because they're both strikers, like Shingo-san was saying, and Doubtback has a sensational highlight reel of finishes that he wants to add to. And what better way to add to that than a superior rule set finish? By I'm hoping for stomps, but could possibly be grounded kicks or grounded knees. So it just, man, either way, it's going to be awesome. This is going to be a banger. Can't wait.
Oh, yeah, at least I hope so. Especially considering the fact that, like I said, this is Doubtback's first fight in Rising in almost years. And yeah, we all know Seiki is a former ZST flyweight world champion. So, of course, he's going to definitely bring it. But this dude, Doubtback, has been a monster since the last time he was in the RIZIN Fighting Federation ring. And yes, of course, it's going to be in a ring, not a cage. But still, when it comes down to this fight, if this fight ends up being a dud, like what Andrew basically keeps describing the Daly versus Page fight, oh, two strikers going out and physically banging out each other. No, it's going to be a Russell fuck fest for 15 minutes. Nobody wants to see that. But
well, look, but that fight you're talking about, Page and them, they didn't have the superior rule set. The superior rule set of the Epic RIZIN Fighting Federation usually always negates those kind of boring decisions. So they're few and far between in RIZIN. So if both these fighters know the assignment, it's not going to be boring. I'll put you that way. There's no way. So, but it depends if they know the assignment or not.
Of course, it's going to be really fun to see if those two fighters know the assignment. Speaking of two fighters that know the assignment, I mean, I know you probably are a big fan of Team America World Police, right?
Is that the one with the little puppets? That movie with the puppets type of deal?
Yeah, the South.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It was a parody kind of a thing, but yeah, I guess I'm a fan. It was funny.
You really spoiled the mood on that one.
Sorry about that. If you want something about like a gung ho American type of thing, you got to go with like Chuck Norris or something, Mission in Action or Rambo, John Rambo. Those are, or like anyways, I know what you're talking about. So go ahead, finish the breakdown.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is you should basically ask your smart device of choice to play America. Fuck yeah.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Johnny Case and Bay Noah fight, right?
Yes. The third
between
two Americans in the RIZIN Fighting Federation, but also the first fight between two Americans outside of the heavyweight division. So
nice.
Let me go ahead and get histonomics out of the way there.
And speaking of America, fuck yeah! Today is June 6th as of this recording, right? Mm-hmm. That's the D-Day invasion anniversary of World War II, and just want to give a shout out to all the veterans out there. And it's just my father's flag behind me right there. He was also a World War II veteran, non-combat veteran, but still, today is June 6th, the D-Day invasion of anniversary. So I just want to give a big shout out to America and all our veterans. So and yeah, absolutely, like you're saying, Jay Krish, but it's about America. Fuck yeah, always.
Yeah, exactly. But still, though, when it comes down to this particular fight, the Black Panther, Bay Noah, originally from Torrance, California, USA, having spent time back in the United States fighting out of American Kickboxing Academy in San Jose, California. Oh, wait a minute. City Life Project.
Yes, I should hear City Life Project. Everybody make sure you go check out the City Life Project, like and subscribe to them, and watch for. We just did a preview show on there. Yes, and that's gonna be dropping later this week. It's a lot of fun, great fun. Cannot make sure you guys go check that out and listen to it as soon as it drops. But yeah, City Life Project. Aisha, what's up, bro? Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. This is awesome. And yeah, absolutely, America, fuck yeah! Especially on the anniversary of the D-Day invasion during World War II. Right here, my dad's World War II flag. Even though he's non-combat, arguably one of the top non-combat veterans. Because after his service during World War II, he went to the Douglas Aircraft and McDonnell Douglas doing in a space program, aerospace program, and helped get men to the moon. So he's part of the space race project as well. So just fantastic. Really put the great and greatest generation, and that's who we're honoring today during the D-Day anniversary for World War II. So just a huge shout out to them. So absolutely, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, Aisha, from the City Life Project. Make sure everybody goes, likes, and subscribes to City Life Project, and watch for our preview show dropping later this week. It was just a lot of fun. Can't wait to do that show again. Oh, also might be going on there this Monday for a review show for Aisha does a podcast with that reviews the weekend every Monday. So I'll be going on there as well. So everybody check that out, like and subscribe to them. So and watch for that. Awesome. So thanks for tuning in, Aisha. Appreciate it. City Life Project, 100%.
Okay, now let me go ahead and get back to the fight in general that we were talking about that made us get all, excited about America. But still, though, yeah, let me go ahead and get back to this. Bay Noah, originally from Torrance, California, USA, fighting out of San Jose in this case for this fight because he trained out of American Kickboxing Academy for a time or two over the last year. 5'10", 160 pounds, age 28. He resides in Itabashi, Tokyo, Japan, representing the Naimasu Dojo. But obviously, he is a former world champion in Rise. And you know what? That makes me think about this, what Shingo was saying to me. There's 5 former world champions on this damn card. And Bay Noah is one of them. Unfortunately, his MMA career doesn't say much because he's only 2-3 in mixed martial arts. And he most recently got his win over Yusaku Inoue back at RIZIN 46 via decision. And he beats Johnny Case, the former UFC veteran. This may as well be the most important win of his career. As for Hollywood Johnny Case from Jefferson, Iowa, by way of Des Moines, Iowa, by way of the MMA Lab in Glendale, Arizona, USA. 28-9 and 1 overall, 5'10", 157 pounds, 34 years of age. He's been added in mixed martial arts since 2007. But still, though, point of the matter, he's 4-3 in RIZIN. Hasn't had a fight in RIZIN since New Year's Eve 2022 when he knocked out the easily defeatable Nobumitsu Lil Tyson Osawa. Has since taken up boxing and kickboxing, but mostly boxing, since then. But still, though, point of the matter is, this dude, if he doesn't have heavy hands coming from boxing, he'll beat you with strikes. He'll beat you in the submission. He'll beat you in the ground game. It's just the point of the matter is he hasn't had a fight since New Year's Eve 2022, and obviously Bay Noah could look to exploit that. And again, another one, Bay Noah, who's a flair for the entrances. So, I just got to ask, out of these 2 fighters representing the good old stars and stripes, which eagle do you think is going to soar the highest in this one?
I think it's going to be Johnny Case all the way, Johnny Hollywood Case. Because remember, Sakaki Bara-san, CEO of Epic Rising, for Bay Noah's last fight that he had was very lackluster. And Sakaki Bara-san just absolutely lambasted him and just really took it to him and shredded him post-fight, saying he was boring. And if he ever puts on a performance like that again, he's going to be cut. He was saying that to both the fighters in that fight. And this, to me, is a punishment fight. And I think I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, we were talking about a Seed Life project, but I don't know if Sakaki Bara-san literally said that, or if we're just implying that it's a punishment fight. But it clearly is. I mean, it's clearly meant to, like Johnny Case he's supposed to style on Bay Noah. So, and this is a punishment for Bay Noah's lackluster performance here. And Bay Noah's really got to, put up a good fight here, go out on his shield, and really showcase that, he was showing improvements in his defensive wrestling, right? He's showing good improvements he's a kickboxing crossover, like you were saying, a kickboxing champion. One of the 5 the 2 main events here, the main and co-main, every single fighter in those is a champion, former champion, right? And Bay Noah is a former champion in kickboxing, crossing over to mixed martial arts, and he's shown a great progression, especially in his grappling department, in my opinion. So, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, this is clearly, I think, a punishment fight for his last lackluster performance, because Johnny Hollywood Case is a great fighter. Like you're saying, though, Jay Krish, he's come off a very long layoff. So, I mean, but he has been doing other stuff like boxing, right? So it's not going to be completely ring rust. It's going to be just, ring rust from mixed martial arts, basically. So I don't know if that'll play a factor or not, but it's clearly meant for Johnny Hollywood Case to style on Bay Noah and to punish Bay Noah for a lackluster performance and to see if Bay Noah can go out on his shield and really put up a good fight here. So that's what I'm looking to see happen. And I'm picking, 100% picking Johnny Case to get the W.
Well, you wouldn't be wrong because 94% of the Tapology Fate Force saying that they want to see Johnny Case get the win. But I'm guessing you're literally not giving Bay Noah a snowball's chance in hell to win or to even.
He's got a puncher's chance. Like all fighters, he's got a puncher's chance. Especially he's a kickboxing crossovers. He's obviously got dangerous striking. So if Johnny just goes in there careless, just thinking he's got it in the bag and doesn't, and gets a little lazy or sloppy or whatever, makes a mistake, Bay Noah definitely could capitalize. But no, for the most part, I definitely see Johnny Case getting this win, punishing Bay Noah, and forcing him to really go out on his shield, especially if he wants to keep fighting the Epic Rising. And to really, really do what Sakaki Barasan and them want, which is to really, punish him and get a spectacular finish. Because Bay Noah is susceptible to be knocking out, right? One of his that's arguably why he put on a lackluster performance in his previous fight, was because the one before that was the I like to call it the stink face KO. He got knocked out so bad he did a face plant and was lying on the mat with a stink face, like he just smelled someone just smelled a fart or something. It was hilarious. One of the most hilarious KOs you'll ever see. Go look that one up. And that's probably why he put on a lackluster performance. So maybe he's coming back this time to you get that rep off his back, the monkey off his back, so to speak, and to put on I'm gonna put on a show this time and show you that you're not gonna punish me. I'm gonna come out here guns blazing and take out not Spike, sorry, I'm reading the comment there, but take out Johnny Hollywood Case. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but again, a late notice comment from Degenerate Dane, our good buddy who happens to be a Danish degenerate gambler. Jesus, Spike Carlisle looks like he's spiking something pharmaceutical.
Well, why not? Why not? The UFC doesn't do drug testing anymore. They got rid of USADA. They're doing the quote-unquote in-house drug testing, so to speak. Yeah, right. Bullshit. We know that they're just allowing. They did that just to allow guys like Johnny Juicer Jones Bones to be on the juice and not have to worry about getting flagged anymore. And maybe Conor McGregor coming back from, because he was looking pretty juiced in the Roadhouse movie, the Roadhouse remake movie. So that's if the UFC's not doing it, then who cares? Just let him freaking juice or whatever. As long as it's just don't. Obviously they're still doing some drug testing, so just don't fail on fight night. You know what I mean? Because they already got Kimura, so Philip Kimura. So they still obviously do drug testing. Just don't be stupid with it. And Spike Carlisle, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We don't know. That's speculation. But if he's looking ripped like he is, good. So because I'm hoping that he's going to need it against Kyung Po Kim, a tough Korean fighter. So hopefully he gets the win as well. Another win for America. Fuck yeah! And then thanks for tuning in, Degenerate Dane. And he watches. That's a bro from Twitter, X as well. And just great to have you on the show and listening and leaving comments. And great to hear from you.
Just say this: between Degenerate Dane and Grabaka Hitman Kaposa, they do a lot for covering MMA. And in the case of Degenerate Dane, watching multiple events at one time.
He'll always post that he showed multiple screens on his iPad and stuff, and watching it at the casinos and stuff. So yeah, Degenerate Dane is a great fan, and of course Kaposa's the GOAT, obviously, or one of the GOATs. And like we were shout out earlier with Cerebral Vigilantes, another one. So just we got a fantastic community here. So appreciate you tuning in with us, Degenerate Dane, and listening to us here talk about this fantastic. And you're right, this is a fantastic card, even though it's only 9 fights. It's quality over quantity for this one. Everyone is an absolute banger, and just we did a nice little pro wrestling skit earlier where we're talking about this banger after banger. It is true. It's an awesome card. So we're looking forward to this. I personally would like more. You know, the UFC, as you know, does 14 bouts at least for every single card. Even their UFC Apex Shed Warehouse events, they still do 14 fights for those cards. So, and for a $20 pay-per-view like the Epic RIZIN 47 is, I think we should get more than just 9 bouts. But hey, you're right. Every single one of them is an absolute banger. So it is a fantastic card. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. And even though of course, we got 2 more fights left to talk about. I mean, I don't want to look at the clock, but I would say we could have an overrun, but we started late. Still, though, point of the matter is we got 2 more fights to talk about. This next fight that is going to, be second on the card may not be, everybody's cup of tea. But then again, when it comes down to it, it's open finger glove kickboxing with elbow. So, yeah, beautiful. Even though we won't see the full superior rule set, beautiful violence will still be had. Of course, it's King Genji Umeno, which I forgot. He's the 6th former world champion on this damn card. 6th former world champion. So, yeah, 6 world champions on this card. Genji is the first of them. Yabaidaro, by the way, he's going to be facing off against Mamoru Oi Full Swing. And I know that VTR package is going to be wild for this bout, especially because it's open finger glove kickboxing with elbows allowed. So it's a prelude to the beautiful violence on hand. So, yeah, let me go ahead and read off the descriptors for these fighters. Umeno, 5'11", 140 pounds, rounding out 137, blah, blah, blah. Point of the matter is, this fight's going to be 62 kilos, so 140 pounds. Umeno, 5'11", 140, 78, 35 years of age, representing Phoenix Gym and fighting out of Chiyoda, Chiyoda, Tokyo, Japan, under Masaki Kato. His opponent, Mamoru Oi Full Swing, 5'5", about 135 pounds, 66.5-inch reach, age 38, representing Gon's Gym and fighting out of Kobe, Hyogo, Japan. Now, as far as their records in the promotion go, for Umeno, he is currently riding a record in RIZIN of, let's see, no contest, loss, win. Oh, wait, actually, yeah. 2 wins, 2 losses, and 2 no contests in RIZIN. As for Oi, Full Swing, he is 2-4 in RIZIN. Yeah, 2-4 in RIZIN. This will be his first kickboxing bout in the promotion, of which, as far as the kickboxing record goes, he is 0-1 legitimately. And Degenerate Dane is saying 9 fights I'm okay with it. Easy to stay up with, right? Yep, damn right, Degenerate Dane. I just don't know if there are going to be any degenerate gamblers willing to stay up from midnight to 6 a.m. my time just to watch. But yeah, going back to it, open finger glove kickboxing, even though the rest of the audience might not be excited for it, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I think they will be excited for it. I mean, this is made famous by Yaman, right? And Yaman's going to be up on Super RIZIN 3. But the open fingered glove kickboxing, it always produces bangers. And I see this one being the same thing. I mean, Full Swing, of course, he gets his name from, swinging for the fences, always comes out with the bat gimmick, the baseball gimmick. So it's just, he's going to be looking to swing for the fences and take his head off. And like you said, Genji Umeno, former champion. So this is going to be a fantastic open finger glove bout. And it's going to bring the action 100%. And, hey, Degenerate Dane, if you can't stay up, the replays are available. Just watch the replays. So, it's like I think we should I want as many superior rule set bouts as possible. So that's why I want more, at least 14 like the UFC does. I mean, especially if we're paying for the pay-per-view, right? I mean, it's But it's easy for me to say because I'm on the West Coast, so it's ours is from 10 p.m. to like 3 or 4 a.m. That's a little bit easier to do than like Jay Chris is saying from 6 a.m. to from midnight to 6 a.m. That's Central. So the East Coast is like 1 a.m. to like 7 a.m. That's hard. So, but hey, the replay is right there. So I don't want to use people's beauty sleep as a reason to have less than 10 fights on a card for a $20 pay-per-view. Just watch the replay if you can't stay up. So give me more fights. Give me as many Superior Rules bouts as possible. But yeah, no, for this one, Jay Chris, yeah, it's going to be a banger. The Japanese fans love the open finger gloves, and as we've seen with that they're going to be integrating bare knuckle which is no gloves, right? So the Japanese fans love that, and it's just
yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Degenerate Dane is saying replay. I'm no casual.
Yes, we know that. We know that, Degenerate Dane. Absolutely. Oh, you're in Vegas, so you're on the West Coast Pacific time. So it'll be easy for you. It starts at 10 p.m. and it'll probably only go to like 3 or 4 in the morning at the latest. Especially since there's only 9 fights, and there's no like hour-long intermissions since they're not on Fuji TV anymore. They don't have to hit the Fuji TV time slot of 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. whatever it was before, which would cause the hour-plus long intermissions before. Now, since they don't have to deal with the Fuji TV time slot, they can do 20-minute intermissions, and that's how it's been every single time. It's been 20 minutes tops for the intermissions. So it's Pacific time. It's really easy for us. You just gotta stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m. So a nice cup of coffee will do it, no problem. So it's gonna be awesome. You'll be able to watch live. That's 100%.
Yeah, of course, exactly. I mean, especially considering that you got. I mean, you know what they say: freaks come out at night. The fight freaks are definitely going to be coming out for this one, especially.
Yeah. You just said that the freaks come out at night and the overseas geeks come out at night.
Especially the fact that on Saturday it'll be hours after another shitty 8. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Intermission for purgatory, says Degenerate Dane. But let me go ahead and rephrase that. On Saturday, you're gonna have a lackluster card in Louisville for the UFC, anyways. Capped off by perennial title loser. And Texas native, of course. Jarrett Killer Gorilla Canyoneer versus Nasiruddin Imavov. That's the only fight really that's going to be interesting on that card, even though it's going to be a double shot weekend for the UFC with the WWE having an event, in Kentucky, in Louisville. But yeah, the fight freaks are definitely going to stay up for RIZIN 47 on Saturday. That much is.
And you know what you do since it's a lackluster UFC? You can use the UFC since it's going to be a snoozer to get you a little power nap during the UFC event so you can stay up easy for the Epic RIZIN. And Dane, it's not going to be purgatory anymore for intermissions. It's only 20 minutes at the max now. And for this intermission, too, we're supposed to get 5 announcements from Sakaki Barasan, the CEO of Epic RIZIN, and we already figured out that 1 or 2 of them is going to be the BKFC announcement that's happening. Probably John Dotson and Emery is going to be announced, and then we're speculating. For the first segment tonight that we did on the show was speculation about what the other announcements were going to be, and it could be anything from maybe it'll be the next international events announced, and a couple announcements for where the next events are going to be, possibly an international event, and maybe some of these prospects, like we were saying, Shadalayev and Dalbeck, these guys from that area. Remember, one of the locations for the next international event that was name dropped by Sakaki Barasan on Andrew's We Are RIZIN podcast interview he did with them was in that region. I think it was Uzbekistan, if I'm not mistaken, and then possibly somewhere in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia or something. So those guys on this fight, if that's one of the announcements, maybe these guys could be fighting for a spot on that card coming up later on in the year. So it'll be really interesting to see. So you're not going to want to miss the intermission this time. It's not going to be purgatory. It's not purgatory anymore, especially when they're going to utilize intermissions for 5 announcements. Can't wait for that. It's gonna be awesome. The intermissions are no longer help.
But yeah, now that we've basically gotten all this shit out the way, let's go ahead and finish this strong.
Let's
Okay?
do it.
Go ahead and finish it off with the first fight that's going to be on the card, and that's Kazuki Tokudome versus the Savage, Sho Patrick Usami. Now, as far as the younger fighter is concerned, Usami, the former amateur boxing standout, 6-2 as a professional mixed martial artist, from Osaka, Japan, by way of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I think because his brother Mason Hide Usami is originally from there, if I'm not mistaken. But still, though, 5'11", 155 pounds, 70-inch reach, 24 years of age, born May 8th in the year 2000, representing LDH martial arts. He is 2-2 in RIZIN competition because you got to add the one kickboxing fight that he had. He is 2-2 in RIZIN competition. Both of his wins are by way of knockout. His most recent MMA win back on April Fool's Day 2023 was a submission loss, and he lost via unanimous decision to Rukia Ampo back on September 24th. Well, September 24th of 2023. His opponent, Tokudome, a 4-fight UFC veteran, a 4-fight veteran in that damned one championship, and of course, Martin Sengoku and KSW. His most recent. Oh, wait a minute. First of all, the particulars. What the hell am I doing? 5'11", 155.3 pounds, 70-inch reach, 37 years of age, representing Podesta Hachioji, Tokyo, Japan, a judo practitioner by trade. 20 wins, 11 losses, 1 draw is his record. 13 of his 20 wins by way of finish, 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. But he got choked out by Roberto Satoshi de Sousa back in March of 21, and he hasn't fought in over 3 years. So just to clarify on this, and I'm looking at the Tapology listings right now, 82% of them saying that Usami is going to win this fight, mostly because he fought more recently, but I just got to ask, who you got?
Yeah, I got Usami as well. This is a fight between a veteran and a young gun. So I'm picking the young gun here, and really, this is the first fight of the card. So I'm expecting fireworks. They put this on the first one for a reason. They want Usami to come out there and absolutely put on a show and hopefully get a stoppage finish. But you never know. You cannot ever count out a veteran savviness of a veteran like Tokudome, because like I say, 20 wins. And on you got wins on the big stages as well, right? So it's like you can't discount that. So and Usami, he's only got he's 6-2. So, but he's not even 25 yet, man. He's right in his prime years right now. So he's going to be coming out there looking to put on a show, kick off the card with a bang. But you cannot make a mistake against a veteran like Tokudome. So it's going to be real interesting to see how it starts out, how it plays out. But I'm expecting this one to be a bang, and it's going to be Usami getting the victory, hopefully by superior rule set finish.
Yeah, of course. I'm really hoping for that as well, especially considering the fact that in the case of Tokudome, again, he hasn't fought in 3 years, and his last fight was a loss to Roberto Satoshi de Sousa. So he's definitely, in this case, going to want to shake off some ring rust. But in the case of Usami, the dude is pretty much, let's face it, this dude could have been, where Tenshin Nasukawa is now. He could have been where Naoya the Monster Inoue is now. But instead, he's fighting as a mixed martial artist against some key competition. And in this case, in Kazuki Tokudome, he's fighting a well-traveled veteran who's basically busted his ass to fight everywhere in the world. And now, he's coming off of a significant layoff that might pretty much make or break his career. It's like time off is a fighter's worst enemy, as the saying goes. And I just don't know if this will lead to, I really don't know if this would potentially lead to one of the biggest wins of Usami's career or another feather in the cap for Tokudome. I just don't know where to really put that off as. But then again, when you think about Usami, he's got a lot of fighting left to do, and I think this might be a significant win for him. I mean, it's just that I don't know. I think we're going to see violence personified more than anything else, right?
Yes, let's hope so. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, now that we got all 9 fights done, I mean, I just got to ask. I mean, even though I know Andrew normally asks, what are the fights that you're most looking forward to? But considering it's only a 9-fight card, and we're going to basically chart this off into sections of 3. I mean, well, actually into one section of 3. Which fight are you looking forward to the most? Which fight do you think is going to be a low-key banger? And which fight do you think that they could have gone without?
Honestly, every single fight besides the Johnny Case punishing Bay Noah fight is that was the only lopsided one. Every other fight is a banger, 100%. And obviously with the main and co-main just being collaboration super fights, it just, I mean, man, this whole card is a banger. That's why we're doing that progress to get a banger after banger, because it's absolutely true, 100%. And for me to pick one, if I'm not going to pick one from the main or co-main, because those are obvious, I mean, honestly, I'm really looking forward to, I mean, the Spike Carlisle, Kyung Po Kim one, that's just got banger written all over it. I mean, also the Doubtback versus Seki got banger written all over it. And of course, Takeda versus Shadalayev, the veteran title contender challenging the hottest, one of their hottest signings of recent memory for the Epic RIZIN, hot prospect. I mean, just banger after banger. So, I mean, if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick Spike Carlisle versus Kyung Po Kim. I just think that one just, I mean, and that's if I can't pick one of the main events, or the main or co-main, because those are obviously going to be absolute bangers as well. So, just this whole card, bro, this whole freaking card is freaking awesome. Cannot wait to watch it with you guys.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching it, too. I mean, especially considering the fact that, yeah, those 9 fights are going to be amazing to look for. Well, again, let me go ahead and give my picks of the fight that I'm looking forward to, the fight that I think is going to be the banger, and the fight that I think they could have done without. The fight that I'm obviously looking forward to the most is Horiguchi versus Pettis 2, especially considering the fact that in the case of Pettis and Horiguchi, yeah, this could have the potential to be a trilogy bout. And the fun thing about it is, no uniformification of mixed martial arts in this one. I think this might be a feud where at least they get to express themselves more creatively. Now, aside from the co-main event, the fight that I think is gonna be a low-key banger is Ueda versus Kowalczyk, especially because
Nice pick.
Boys at the start of their career, and I think that they got a lot to prove, especially as their careers go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Two heavyweights, both strikers, both with finishes on the record. I mean, Kyokushin karate guy versus a international Polish fighter that's nothing but finishes. I mean, you're absolutely right. That's got banger written all over it. Good pick. Nice one.
Now, the fight I think they could have done without, I'm sorry, Jay, but I have to say it. Carlisle versus Kyung Po Kim.
What? How can you say that one? That one's freaking awesome.
Awesome. But I think it also would be best if they were to have I'm just going to say it. They could have had a better opportunity being showcased on a fight card all its own, because let's just face it. Carlisle has a big flair for the entrances. Kyung Po Kim is a low-key workhorse. Well, red horse, obviously. But still, though, point of the matter is, I think that fight could have been better suited on a different card. Wouldn't you think? I mean, those of y'all watching right now or listening to my voice right now, y'all can go ahead and get at me on that, obviously. But still, though, point of the matter is when it comes down to this fight card, I think this is probably I think this is probably the fight that could have been best served on another card, wouldn't you think?
So you're saying that the fight is so good it could be the co-main on a different card, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like you're against the fight itself. It's just you want it to be a higher profile on a different card down the line. Okay, I get what you're saying, but I mean, I
don't want to basically say it's going to be a dud or anything like that. I'm just basically saying it could have done better. I mean, it could have served a better purpose being on another Rising card. Not like this. But let's just face it. 9 fights on the card. 5 in the first half, 4 in the second half, but you got the
10 international fighters. 10 international fighters. Most international fighters since the pandemic.
Yes, of course. We got to mention that as well. I mean, obviously, Shingo did talk to me about this. They want to do more Rising events over in other countries. They want to have national options for
Yes, that's why I told everybody in the first segment, make sure you go listen to Jay Krish's interview with Shingo Charlie Kashiwagi on the Focus Fights audio that he did. One of the best interviews that he's ever done, arguably the best to date. And you will enjoy it. It like King CeeLo said in the Rising Discord, it flowed so well. You'll listen to it from start to finish, and you will enjoy it. A lot of information was dropped in that interview, including about Grand Prix, including about international events, international expansion. That's why and the reason why we're calling them grounded kicks instead of soccer kicks now, at least until the legalization efforts in the States come to fruition. Once they legalize it, then we can go back to calling it soccer kicks. But from now on, it's grounded kicks to help with the legalization efforts, which Shingo-san talked about to Jay Krish on that fantastic interview. So, I mean, there's so much good information dropped on there. Just make sure you go check that out. Jay Krish and Gary's Focus Fights audio interview with Shingo Charlie Kashiwagi. Fantastic job on that one, Jay Krish, really.
Thank you. And as soon as I am done with this episode, I will edit the description of this particular video just so that y'all, the fans at home, can watch or listen to it in this case. Because I did put it out not only as a video interview, but an audio interview as well. So,
excellent.
Yeah, y'all can get the option to listen to that.
So click on that link and listen to it if you haven't already. It's an absolute banger interview, 100%. Very well done, Jay Krish. And it's great to hear from Shingo, too. I was very impressed with how, I mean, if Shingo is the successor to Sakakibara-san, the Epic Rising is going to be in great hands. He sounded, I mean, really like totally worthy successor to Sakakibara-san. So it's just click on that link. Check it out. Listen to that interview if you haven't already. It's totally 100% worth your time. It's a fantastic job Jay Krish did. So, and just great to hear from Shingo-san.
Yeah, of course. But again, I think we're all going to be looking forward to the intermission more than ever now, especially considering all that we pretty much announced what the hell is going to be happening at RIZIN 45. At RIZIN 47. Coming up. I mean, it's pretty obvious, don't you think?
Yeah, well, remember, we get 5 of them. We get 5 announcements during 47. That's what Sakakibara-san promised on one of his tweets. So the BKFC news is obviously going to be 1 or 2 of them. And we already speculated that, from the word on the streets, what the other ones are going to be, and especially in that first segment we did on this show.
Well, in the case of the BKFC announcements, I am just getting word from the Rising Fighting Federation English language Twitter account, which is now at RIZIN TV_ that, the bare knuckle fights are official, y'all.
Oh, nice. So if you first heard it on here live when they broke the news, and now that information is official. So you heard it here first, and now it's official. From the fish and the RIZIN TV is where you can watch RIZIN 47. That's the international streaming platform. It's only $20. Comes with full replay, so you can watch it there. Or if you don't want to deal with the internet, the English commentary that's not ringside yet, you can watch it like I'm gonna do at RIZIN Live. That's the Japanese stream, and that's just about $10 more, but it's a absolute mint stream, and the audio is perfect. And the only drawback of that one is that they sometimes talk over Lenny Legend's intros, but other than that, the audio and stream is mint. And so that's why it's worth it for me I like getting the RIZIN Live stream. It's just $10 more expensive than the RIZIN.TV stream, which has international commentary that y'all probably be getting. And both of them come with replays. So if you can't make it through the fight, which you should be able to, it's only 9 fights. So, but you have the replay option if you need it.
Yes, of course. But aside from all that, I'm sorry to the fans that actually wanted to listen to this on time, but we ended up doing this 15 minutes late. I mean, a lot of us got shit to do, but still, the point of the matter is, this was fun for the. You know what? I think it's about time we put a bow on this. JayWolf, tell the people how they can get at you.
Oh, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. It was a great time. Love being here doing the show. Are we going to be doing a review show on Focus Fights as well?
I hope so. I look forward to it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you want to do a review show, make sure you guys check that out. I'll be glad to join and do a review show with you. Hopefully, we get to see how our predictions and preview stuff played out and what happened during the card. I'd love to review that with you. And if you want to follow me, look at the fantastic banner that Jay Krish did for me right there. JayWolf1 in the RIZIN Discord, the RIZIN fans Discord. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or X, it's JayWolf1. It's misspelled on purpose. That's been my screen name since way back when I first started commenting on Yahoo message boards in like 06 or 07, whatever it was. And that's how you know it's me, the same person. And plus, it's easier to search like that. So, because there was like a million other JayWolfs, and I got frustrated. It's like, I'm just gonna misspell it, and I'm gonna be that JayWolf. So that's how you know it's me. So follow. If you're a real person, I follow you back. And also, make sure you check out the City Life Project with Aisha. We did a fantastic RIZIN 47 preview show. Should be dropping a little bit later this week, and make sure you watch for that. It was a lot of fun. Just like this one, it was. Look, he's right there with the comment. Fantastic. Saying editing it right now, dropping tomorrow afternoon. Perfect. So as of this recording, it should be dropping Thursday afternoon. Make sure you check that out. The City Life Project. Like and subscribe to them as well. And it was a lot of fun, just like here at Focus Fights. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you subscribe to Focus Fights as well. And like we're saying, you click on the link that Jay Krish is going to post for his interview with Shingo-san. Fantastic. And watch for our review shows. Going to be on the City Life Project on Monday and on Focus Fights next week sometime, whenever that's going to be. And also going to be doing a small preview with Teep to the Junk as well. Everybody knows our good friend Teep to the Junk, Bellator MMA guru. And he's going to be, excuse me, sorry, he's going to be doing a small mini preview of this card as well, since there's so much collaboration with the PFL Bellator going on this card. So we're going to be doing a mini preview for that. So watch for that. That's on his YouTube channel, Random Acoustic Thoughts. And yeah, it was just a great time, Jay Krish. Thank you for having me. And I can't wait to come back and do the review show with you. And are you going to be on the We Are RIZIN podcast later tonight?
I don't know. Andrew hasn't sent me anything about it. I know.
Okay.
I know I sent him this particular video back to him so that he can figure out our faults and everything like that. But still, though, point of the matter is, when it comes down to me, if you want to check out my links, they're in the description, including the new Twitter account and the link tree and blah, blah, blah. Oh, and one more thing. When it comes down to this StreamYard stuff, if you want to check out more, if you want to get on to StreamYard and do all this amazing stuff that we get to do, there's a special StreamYard link in the description if you want to help us out, so to speak. Just wanted to basically clarify that for you. I'm basically looking at the description of this video right now, and yes, it says, want to create live streams like this? Check out StreamYard. It's pretty plain and easy to do. But other than that, my links are in the description. You know, the link tree for this podcast is in the description. The links to the RIZIN Fighting Federation, where you can check out their. Well, actually, no, wrong. That's Andrew. But still, though, sorry. But still, though, I'm gonna go ahead and put that back on there because if you want to check out more what Andrew has to say, you can check out his preview of RIZIN 47 later on tonight. I may not be on there, but it'll definitely be cool if you checked it out. And also, again, if you want to check out the RIZIN Fighting Federation fans Discord, the link for that is in the description as well. If you want to check out what RIZIN has in store, be sure to follow them on Twitter. Yes, I still call it Twitter because Elon is a POS. But still,
it's X now. It's X now, Jay Christian.
Still Twitter. But still, no. If you want to check out more of what RIZIN has in store in English, they are on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at RIZINTV _. And of course, again, just to clarify, once again, RIZIN 47 taking place from Yoyogi National Stadium First Gymnasium, or First Arena in this case, or Yoyogi Arena, live this Sunday, 1 a.m. Eastern, midnight Central, in the Mountain, Pacific, Alaskan, and Hawaiian time zones. It'll be June 9th. It'll be, June 8th, actually. 10 Pacific, 11 Pacific, 10 Mountain. Damn it. 11.
No, it's 10 Pacific, 11 Mountain, 12 p.m., 12 midnight Central, and 1 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, yeah, of course. And if you live in Alaska and Hawaii, it is 9 Alaskan and 8 Hawaiian. Let's be real. But still, though, in the UK and Ireland, in the UK, Ireland, and pretty much all of Western Europe, it's gonna be on early in the morning, so you can have breakfast and beatdowns. If you're in Japan, it's gonna be on at 12 p.m. It's 12 p.m. JST. No, wait, actually,
no, that's the door open. Door opens 12:30 JST. The first fights start at 2 p.m. 1400 hours Japan time.
Yeah, of course.
And for the Eastern European, not Eastern, but for the European time zones, it's like 7 or 8 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, like I said, breakfast and beatdowns for the Europeans. We're going to stay up to watch it overnight in the States, be the overseas geeks that we are. But still, and Canada too, by the way. Shout out Jack Wannon. But still, though, point of the matter
and Aisha from the City Life Project, Canadian as well.
Of course. But still, though, we hope y'all will enjoy this event because we've been talking for 2 hours and 40 minutes about it anyways. But we hope that y'all will be able to enjoy this event, and we hope that y'all will be able to check out all of what RIZIN has in store, all of what we've been talking about, all of what the news we got to break on this damn podcast, because for us, this ain't just a fly-by-night job. We care about RIZIN all damn day.
100%, absolutely.
Shirt that I'm rocking, which, by the way, again, shout out to Will all day of the Reality of Wrestling for the t-shirt. But still, though, point of the matter is, this is only going to get more epic as the year goes along. Yeah, we only got 6 months left, but still, though, point of the matter is, this is going to be fun. And I really hope that RIZIN continues the epicness as the year wears on, because, of course, we got Super RIZIN coming up in the summer. We got an epic New Year's Eve event to look forward to at the end of the year. And we got a whole lot of time between that and the Olympics to look forward to. So, for JayWolf, I have been the Chillmeister, Jay Christian Gary, saying, peace, my peoples, and one love, world. Protect yourself at all times. Keep fighting, because you'll never know who might hear your story. And in case you need a refresher course as to what this is about, I think the legendary Lenny Hart has something that she would like to clear her throat in saying. God damn it, I forgot. This damn I really hate closing this show like this.
You gotta have the soundbite pulled up sooner.
Yes,
Oh shoot.
I have some better speakers. But still though, point of the matter is
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
okay.
We out. Peace. Pride never die. Pride is rising.
Thank y'all, and we hope to see y'all again very, very soon. Later.